on TV side audios and 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest local news, weather, and sports.
There's a man in D.C. He stands for
Hey, I'm you Russ with your Dean there.
glad to be here.
It must be Wednesday.
Yes,
I don't know if you notice how nice the are in the mornings.
that's cool out.
I like it.
I have to read on in my
What?
yeah,
Big baby.
yeah, that's true. I need to get out more.
Get a pair of slippers.
Yeah, I put on my jacket.
No, I've been riding a bicycle a lot more. After I got married, I kind of parked the bike because it just wasn't practical for me to ride it to the radio station.
Right.
Because I live at the other end of town now. And
So
I
it's
can't leave
a much longer commute and maybe more dangerous.
I don't care about that. But now that I go to a gym, it's about 7-8 miles one way. I ride the bike every day to the gym.
So what's that take you? Half an hour?
Yeah. Right at half an hour.
Half an hour is a significant amount of your day. And you go it both ways, so it's an hour of your day.
It's an hour of exercise. And with this cooler weather in the night, it is so nice out riding that bike. And I ride along the canal. I don't ride on the roads. I ride on the canal.
Oh, okay. Well, that takes you out of traffic. That's good.
Yeah. Only traffic I see is when I have to cross a road. And there's a few of them, but there's usually they're either really low flow traffic roads or they've got a light.
Well, what time of day is this you're talking about?
3:30, 4 o'clock, and then coming home 5:30
p.m.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, in the evening. Yeah.
Well, I know you're an early riser.
Oh yeah,
but you're usually here around that time. So
at 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm here. Yeah. So so I've already got a little bit of a start on getting my heart working and everything by the time I get to the gym, and then
I think I got a report from a CAT scan, and so it looks like I can start up aerobic exercise again. So
was there a concern? Did you just wanted?
Well, I had
a clearance.
We think we found
okay
a problem. I'm taking antibiotics now. May have been an infection, and but for several months I just stopped running or significant walking because I had a pain near my left hip.
Okay.
But it turned out it's probably not anything to do with the skeleton or musculature or something else.
It's good that you check it out.
Yeah, well, it took a little bit. And
because you think it's going to go away.
Well, I'm taking antibiotics now, about halfway through the course, and then we're going to do another CAT scan in a couple months and see if that cleared up the problem.
As long as you didn't have the plague or something. Nothing.
No.
Nothing that serious.
But they found all kinds of stuff. I mean, apparently I have gallstones, but
really?
But they don't bother me.
But you've never had if you bother you, I think you'll know it.
Yeah, that's right.
Here it's pretty eventful.
So I mean, I know that I remember when I was like 10 or 11 years old, my mother had an operation to get gallstones taken.
Right.
So it was a pretty big thing back then.
Yeah,
60 years ago.
Create problems with my daughter during childbirth.
Oh.
Yeah. Big problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what causes that. Is that
I don't know. I haven't looked it up. I think there's probably several different things, but I just don't know enough. I have to admit ignorance.
Okay.
As to what
That's
causes
not like you.
Well, better to admit ignorance than try to fake it.
I agree. I agree. But generally, you're a research guy.
I am.
And
I just, because it wasn't bothering me, I didn't bother to research it.
Yeah.
They found a few other things, but they found this infection and said, let's give you antibiotics, see what happens.
As we grow older, we gather some things.
Well, I was talking to my brother the other day, and we both said, we probably would each have died about 2 or 3 times if it wasn't for modern medicine.
True?
Oh, yeah. I had 2 bouts with walking pneumonia, which pneumonia will often kill older people.
Correct.
I mean, and I got to where I mean, remember one time I was getting out of breath walking up a little bitty hill with my daughter, and she said, "What's wrong with you, Dad? You always put me to shame, you know." So when I found out it was walking pneumonia, got some intensive antibiotics and cleared it up
Yeah.
twice, twice in 5 years. That's pretty. And then just the dental capabilities we have today compared to like 100, 150 years
And that can
ago.
kill you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's many things. Those are the two that I think of most obviously where I very likely could have died. I mean,
Mhm.
and I came very close. I had a twin sister that died in childbirth when I
Mhm.
was born, so it could have been me. It's 50-50 chance.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd want a female on the show, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have
Well, it didn't, but it helped me understand that mortality is real and we're all going to die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I still haven't come to grips with that. I thought that was something other people do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, there's things that you need to do. If you should need to get your affairs in order. I've known too many people who die intestate,
Yes.
and it creates an enormous problem if you have assets. And
Well, that's what the lawyers love it though. So,
oh
it
yeah,
keeps them informed,
well,
employed.
I had a close friend of mine. His grandmother died. She had a will, and she left virtually everything to him.
Mhm.
But
It's gotta
the
go.
person that she picked to be the executor of her estate turned out to be a crooked lawyer, and he managed. There were other people. She had married. I think she'd been married 5 or 6 times. She had this thing for powerful, intelligent men, and they tended to die on her.
Mm.
But she was a member of the OSS in World War II.
Oh, so she knows poisons.
Well, she was a driver in London,
Okay.
and she was a very smart woman, but I think it was part of a country club or something, and this lawyer managed to have himself assigned as the executor. I mean, I think she picked him, and the estate was worth about $500,000. And by the end of it, with all the lawyer's fees, because he found these others, children of one of her husbands,
Mhm.
saying, "Well, we should get that money," and he just played them back and forth. The lawyer,
It's all burned up
held
in lawyer fees.
all. I think my friend might end up with 10 or 20,000 at the end.
No.
And he got a letter. This was so, I mean, bizarre. He got a letter from the Bar Association of the state in which this happened, which said, "This is really bad. This is totally unethical, but it was done legally. We can't do anything about it."
Wow. That's why I like living in trust
Yeah,
so much.
exactly. I think that's the way to go.
I'm not doing a commercial for Dees and Gardner Law Firm, but uh, I don't know what it costs now.
It's
It's a
about
couple grand,
3,000.
3,000.
It depends on if you're
And,
married or
and
single.
and on something like where there's $500,000, which is not a lot anymore. If you own a house, you own a few assets,
No, it
have
doesn't take much to add
But
that up.
rather than let the lawyer's fees soak up 300,000-400,000 of it, if you do a living trust, lawyers literally don't have to be involved at all.
Right at the end of it, when you pass.
Right.
And
And
it's
when my father passed, and we had gone to Dees and Gardner, and my sister was the administrator. But if you don't agree with the administrator, because we all have a copy of it, you can't take it to court. You all agree that you would take arbitration.
right.
If you don't, and if you say, well, no, I'm going to take it to court, then you automatically lose any rights to anything.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun little thing, and and you don't have to wait 9 months while it goes to probate and
Right,
all
right,
that
all
stuff.
that,
It happens instantly.
it's generally, I think, the way to go for most people.
Oh my goodness!
I had a
I think my
I
dad.
had 2 close friends of mine died
Yeah,
within the last 6 months,
yeah.
and, uh, and neither of them had a will, and it's just bad.
Oh,
And
it,
one of
it, it
them,
creates turmoil within the family. They fight each other and all
well,
kinds of
one
stuff.
of them, their estate worth millions of dollars,
Yeah.
and I kept she was 90 plus years old when she died, and I kept trying to encourage her to at least get a will, get something. And she said, "Well, I've talked," and she had no children.
No,
She had all her siblings were dead. Her mother and father were long dead.
no.
What she had was some nieces and nephews. And she said, "Well, I kind of would like this niece to have she probably should get it, but she never put anything down on paper." And the nieces and nephews, when she talked to them, "Well, we don't want to worry about that, you know. We
It's
don't want to talk about it."
it's so simple though. And my dad's trust through Decent Gardener, like a few hours.
Right. It can be done. And I mean, I'm gonna admit that I'm in the process of
Okay,
getting that set up. I'm almost mostly done now. And well,
okay,
we're more than half done, I think.
good.
And it takes if you have I've had a somewhat complicated financial situation because
Diverse assets. Okay,
I dabbled in real estate
sure.
and I did some other things. And so that makes like all the
But once
LLCs I have to be listed in
but
there.
once
So
you get the platform open, you can make changes all the time.
oh yeah. And so I'm in the process and hopefully we'll get it all
You
done.
don't
And
you don't have to rewrite the whole thing. You just actually, you can put it on a piece of paper, take it over to the law firm and say, "Add this."
yeah, right. I mean,
It's that simple.
all that it's in process. So,
Yeah.
and for me, because I have children, I just looked at how my friends and
It drives
the one friend had children and the process that his
it's
daughters have. It's just horrific.
it
The
is
amount of
horrific.
time and effort.
It's already tough time.
Yeah, you've lost your father or whatever,
Yeah.
and now you have to go through all of this
Squabbling.
difficult legal work.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not impossible, but it takes enormous time and effort.
Well, and it takes months to go through probate because the rules are that they have to send out a letter to everybody that may have a claim.
Sure. And in this particular case that I'm talking about, she is an only child,
Yeah.
and I don't want to go into all too many details, but we finally I've tried to help her, and I maybe helped a little bit, but
Mhm.
maybe point her in the right direction a little bit. But I can't do stuff. I'm not a lawyer, but
Oh,
anyway, she finally seems to be getting to the point where she's going to be able to get it fixed.
good. Good.
But
Because,
yeah,
Prince died with, intestate. He
uh,
had no will, and he was worth tens of millions of
yeah,
dollars, and he didn't have any kids, but they put out a probe to find out if there were any illegitimate children.
oh,
I think there were like 350 plus me that put in notices that we were.
yeah,
And mine got rejected,
yeah,
but,
yeah, okay.
because I'm older than
Well, that's yeah, it's kind of a
well, yeah,
what
maybe
is this
not,
time
maybe
machine?
not. Yeah, maybe not. But it was like a horrendous amount of people, that just put in that, "Heck yeah, he's my dad."
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
popular real fast.
Well, money tends to do that, money attracts attention, and it's, there's a series of books that I think anybody who is interested in finance and money and becoming well off should read. It's called The Millionaire Next Door,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
I've read that.
and it talks about how people who become well off don't advertise that they're well off.
Well, you don't know it, and it's not that they make $1,000,000 a
They've
year.
accumulated a
They've
million.
accumulated, and they're the janitor, the
Well,
the car salesman, you
very
know?
often they have a small business,
Can?
and there are I would state that there are probably thousands, maybe more, of millionaires next door that live out in the foothills,
Yeah.
where the foothills place is their second home. They
Mhm.
come down from Canada, or they have a big farm,
Mhm.
or I
Oh,
knew a couple from
of course,
Utah.
a lot of them.
I mean, there's just all kinds of I remember talking to a couple in a Jack in the Box where they were getting the special, of course, because it was cheaper, a couple bucks cheaper, and they were
Of
multi-millionaires that
course.
took vacations
But
regularly
they're
in the
but they're not
Caribbean
but they're
and in
not gonna
Europe.
change their habits. They're frugal, they're gonna
It's
stay
it's
frugal.
hard after being frugal for a lifetime, I can tell you it's
Yeah.
hard to spend money even though you have it.
Well, there's a lot of people that know how to spend money and don't have it.
Well, that's the big problem.
Oh, it is? That's a
Yeah,
problem,
yeah, our
yeah.
government is one of the biggest problems
Yeah.
there, and, so we will anyway, so if anybody's interested in how to become well off, read those books. The Millionaire Next Door.
It's simple. I read a book.
The biggest thing is spend less than you make.
That's the key.
That's the key.
It's pretty simple. I've read some articles. I read articles on people that aspire to retire before 40.
Oh wow, that is quick.
And what they do is they live on nearly nothing. They live on nearly nothing, and everything they can, every single penny goes into investments. And some of these people are 40 years old and have millions acquired because everything they earned went right into it. They lived in closets, walked to work, literally to the extreme.
Well, I mean, and I can understand that. It's hard to do that, to live that lifestyle if you have a family.
Some of these did. They had family,
but they're all in on it. They're all working together for the same goal.
And the kids are sleeping the same way in a tiny bus type stuff. And
we live in such a wealthy society that people don't realize that just 100 years ago, people lived in little shack without electricity or running water.
Right. That's why they were always on the front porch. There was no room inside.
Well,
they slept there.
I mean, I'm thinking of my grandparents, who in about 1905, I think it was, paid $700 for a 40-acre piece of property up in northern Wisconsin with a short growing season. And that was all full of stumps because it had been logged over. It was the railway that had sold the rights to logging, I think, to other people, and then had these parcels that they got as part of their motivation to put in a rail line, and they sold them off to people like farmers, and my grandfather, the first year they were there before they bought the property, he trapped, he trapped fur, and they made, what was it? I think it was $150 or something like that over the winter, which was the equivalent of about $30,000 today.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, but they spent $700, which would be equivalent of about $140,000 today on this farm. But I think they made $150 in this winter trapping. So, and they must have carried all that money with them. They had come back from Idaho. And so I'm thinking, would they carry it in gold coins, paper currency? Well, a lot of money back then.
Got a metal detector.
And the property worked out well. I mean, but they put a huge amount of labor into getting rid of the stumps and making
that's a lifestyle they probably enjoyed. Who knows?
Well, they didn't have much choices.
Yes, exactly. So you just do it.
That's how most of the country in say 1910, the majority were farmers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how people lived.
Now, what do you have? 1-2% farmers?
Yeah, something like that, 1 or 2%. And it's because farming has become so efficient.
Yeah.
With big machines, they run on diesel fuel. One guy can control what's going on over the whole farm with GPS.
Well,
I mean, pretty soon our farms will be mostly robotic.
Yeah, the farmers will stay in their pajamas and fuzzy slippers all day and operate it from the house.
Yeah. Now, obviously not everything. And there are also a fair number of people, like I have a nephew that went to school to become a machinist, became a machinist, has been doing extremely well in his job. They bought a 25-acre hobby farm. That's where they live. And they rent out in the field for crops that are grown by a farmer who farms it. And then they make maple syrup from maple trees that are on the property and sell that.
Never would have thought of that.
So it's
maple syrup's expensive.
It is. It's a luxury item. And they invested in considerable technology, so they don't have to have little pails of each tree. They have a piping system that gathers the syrup from each tree and puts it into a vat, and then they have a big system to boil off the excess water and make syrup.
Can maple trees produce every year all the time?
Well, no. Every year they probably do, but some years are much better than others. Okay. And it's only a short season. I think a few weeks when they're actually makes sense to tap them. Usually in the spring, you'll tap them and there's this. I'm sure there's a huge science to it now. Like you don't want to overdo it.
Right.
You don't want to kill your trees off.
Yeah.
But so there are those type of farms out there.
I want to talk about DEI a little bit, and we know that it's really permeated the fabric of all our institutions, schooling institutions, and
Yeah, hopefully we're starting to clear ourselves. The
well,
fad seems to be over,
there's
or at least diminishing.
there's rules now to do it. In the military and in colleges and all that because they get federal money and it was like
Right.
this. Which they've hidden it. It hadn't gone away. They've relabeled it, pushed it into a different department or whatever. Texas University is now controversial because they actually did something to put a stop to it.
Now, is this a public school?
No. Yes, I mean, I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
Okay, so it's a state university.
State university. It's Texas Tech University system.
Is it in Dallas-Fort Worth?
I didn't say. I got the impression they have more than one campus.
Yeah, I think they do, and I knew someone who went to one of their campuses. So
Yeah. Well, they have a new chancellor, and I guess Brandon Crichton, he's the Texas chancellor who had to take over this left-leaning facility indoctrination. And it came, I think it came after there was a viral video where, let's see, it caused a legislator to start debating on how they're going to rein in the influence.
Yeah, okay.
A viral video went out there. Let me see, a teacher talking about gender identity in the class about children's literature, accusing the professor of violating Trump's executive order recognizing two genders. So that went viral. The legislature decided to start debating anyway. They sent this chancellor in to figure out how to do it, and I think it's so simple. He put a flow chart together.
Oh, is it a complicated flow chart?
And it's very easy.
One page.
It's just less than a page. I mean, you could make 3 per page. And the question that starts off the flow chart: does the faculty member believe course material is relevant and necessary for classroom instruction? That's the number one question. Anything they're teaching. Like if you're doing math and you want to talk about gender identity,
Yeah.
you have to run it through this flow chart. Is the material relevant and necessary?
Okay.
And if it's yes, because maybe it's math and it's about math, is the course material required for professional licensure or certification or patient-client care? If the answer is yes, no immediate changes to course content. Disclose course content to department chair, dean, host. And that's it. If it's all wrong. Now, if you put on there, no, you put remove from course content. If that ain't, but and it's just that simple. If it doesn't help the actual course,
Yeah, if it's irrelevant
do
to
it.
the course.
don't do it.
Well,
How simple could that be?
most STEM courses were not as subject to DEI.
Oh, but they did. They worked them in.
Yeah, they did. Right.
They
But
worked
they
them
were
in.
not quite, they were later. They tended to hold off.
Yeah. Now, if you get to the point where it's the course material required for professional licensure, certification, or parent client care, and you put no to that, then there's another list of questions. Does faculty members request review of specific course material to potentially remain in course? If yes, request is made to the department chair to consider. If yes, request continues to dean to consider. Or if yes, request continues to provost to consider.
That's a lot of people to be.
Well, it's an optional, one or the other.
Well, right. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in courses. Like I'm thinking of some of the math courses or basic physics courses and stuff. I think it'd be hard pressed to say this is required for licensure somewhere, but it was basic to understanding reality.
Mm-hmm. Well, it says, is the course material required for professional licensure, certification, or patient-client care?
Right. I mean, that's a much more specific set of things than general science.
Yeah.
I would think.
But I guess the intent is to narrow down the instruction, whatever's relevant
to
the class taking.
I'm just, if I'm putting myself in that administration position, saying, okay, so I'm chairman of a department, I've got to look at all of this stuff that my instructors are giving to me, saying they want it in their courses because they think it's worthwhile, but it's not required for licensure. Could be a lot.
Could be. I'd be curious to see.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this was accepted universally by everybody with no complaints. Okay, I'm joking about
I
that.
just go, what?
Of course, that
Huh?
was not a serious comment, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
The let me see, Andrew Martin, who is an art professor at Texas Tech, and he's the president of the school's chapter of the American Association of University Professors. He just said, "This is disastrous.
Oh,
History is full of examples of what happens when an authoritarian governments gain control of an educational institution of a country or society. That is death to freedom."
well, that's what DEI was, I thought.
No. That's exactly my thoughts when I read that comment, that DEI was being shoved down our throats
Right.
as
Only,
an authoritarian government.
right. I mean, at least it is something that wanted. I mean, under the Biden administration, I would say it was.
Well, there's another professor that made a comment. He's a math professor,
Okay.
Andrew Schiffker. He said, restrictions won't affect me or the classes. He found the flowcharts to be clear and helpful. I think it's pretty straightforward and reasonable. I guess that's a difference between math and art.
I would say,
I-
yeah. Yeah. I mean, art, there's a lot of subjectivity in art.
But usually art is designated toward, graphic arts or something like, you're usually going to take a class in art, not just art in general,
Yeah.
but you're going to take something specific. And then you want to know, well, is this specifically going to help me with graphic art? Do I need to know about gender identity?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, the whole purpose of DEI, it appeared to me, or at least one of them, was to make everything political.
yeah, it seemed that way.
Right.
Crichton, of course, he's taken. I mean, there's a guy that's taking over as chancellor. Said, "Here's a mission to fix it." He says, "I got some ideas," and we start throwing them out there.
Right.
Which the first one seems pretty simple. The flow chart
Yeah.
to me makes sense, but to the art instructor did not at all.
I'm thinking of, I think it was Bismarck talking about war. He said, in war, what needs to be done is very simple. Executing is hard.
There you go. Crichton says one of the recent bills gives more curriculum oversight power to Board of Regents and diminishes the authority of faculty senates. And I guess the faculty senates is an advisory group that helps set academic policy. Faculty senates were designing the curriculum really without any second review, and they had just become more and more radicalized.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was going on.
Well, right. So what
It's a small group of people.
you have here is the faculty senate, which is a much smaller group of the faculty as a whole.
Right.
Basically saying we're taking over the university. You don't get any say.
Well, it sounds like Gordon Crichton that they did just that.
Yes.
That they were putting the curriculum together, and that was it.
Right.
Now he comes out with this flow chart that asks every member, is it necessary?
Yeah.
And if not, he doesn't say go to faculty senate. He says go to department chair, go to the dean, go to the provost.
Right.
To consider. And at the end of the flow chart, it's a provost provides recommendation and justification to chairs and vice chairs of academic, clinical, and student affairs committees. So no mention of the Senate. It looks like the Senate was disbanded.
Oh, the faculty senate.
Yeah, faculty Senate was disbanded. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I'm guessing it probably wasn't.
But the faculty, according to this article, had been on edge now because they knew the legislature began debating on how to rein in the influence. So of course they were nervous.
Oh yeah,
It
makes sense. I mean, what many public universities and colleges have become little fiefdoms
Sure.
that were essentially acting as independent units of government, and in some places, even the Supreme Court. I'm trying to think. I think it's in Montana. basically ruled that they were independent of the legislature and that they,
Can do what they want.
they basically were self-governing and the legislature had no ability to rein them in.
They have ability to really draw money.
Well, we will see. Yeah.
But look, the way it was going, as you say, they were independent and everything, and nobody messed with them, nobody questioned them,
Oh
nobody
yeah,
anything.
tremendous.
The thing that changes that, Dean, is when you start getting a viral video that demonstrates
how bad things
how
have gotten.
bad things have gotten as far as being out of touch with presidential orders on receiving
Or
federal funds.
essentially being out of touch with the general public.
And that too, absolutely.
The populace said, "What?"
You start living in that bubble, and that's all you hear.
Right.
And we know better than everyone.
Yes, and I would say my experience, 'cause I've followed a lot of stuff that goes on in legislation because I'm following gun legislation, and I'll tell you, I was just amazed at how influential uh, universities and colleges are in legislatures. I mean, legislators tend to look at them as the people they should ask for what to do, and they wield enormous influence in state legislatures. And the amount of money that states spend on education is astronomical. I mean,
We spend half our budget in the state of Arizona, more than half,
on education.
on educational.
I think that's not uncommon among the
But
states.
it seems surreal to think we spend over half our budget on just education,
Right.
because we have to do freeways, we have to,
All
do
the
our
other
reports,
stuff,
we have to do everything, the police, everything.
and all that is only half. The other half is being spent on education, a lot of which is arguably not well spent.
Correct. I would think so. And when I look at these public universities, and don't send me hate mail, but the public universities that we fund, and I start comparing them to private universities that get zero funding and they charge less and have better reputations.
Mm. Well, I know that
Grand Canyon is what I'm using.
I think the future is, and I know that there are private universities that charge lots of money,
Sure,
for
they can.
tuition and everything, and usually,
But a lot of them are collecting federal money too, even though they're private.
so yes, it depends.
They
You
get
have
well, they
you
get
have some
grants.
that just refuse private money. I know of one,
Those
Hilldale,
that will not take $1.
and they
They
did
don't
it
even do
because
student loans. They
there
don't.
were strings attached, and
Yeah.
they didn't want those strings.
Right.
But I think in today's internet society, we're going to get more and more online universities that will become recognized as doing good work, and eventually the market will step in, and those will become much less expensive to attend than private or public physical universities where you go somewhere.
Maybe. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ, Mark, Dean.
Good morning.
You listened to Senator Spoon yesterday?
I did not.
No.
Let me ask you guys, what really is the premise of the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare?
Uh-huh.
Well, you get a lot of argument on that.
I think you'll get a lot of.
No. There is only one thing. If your head's screwed on right, there's
Okay.
only one thing.
Well, tell me that
You
one
know-
thing. What is it?
You were talking about it most of the program yesterday.
Uh-huh.
The Affordable Care Act is about single payer.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, going to that. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think
It
that's
took
what I
away
would have.
competition.
That's the way I would have said,
The
but
Affordable
it's somewhat.
Care
They
Act-
don't claim that in the Affordable Care Act.
No, they don't.
The Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, shut down free market competition.
Yep.
Exactly so.
Yeah.
And essentially what it did was it saved a couple of very lucrative insurance companies. That was the big pig that everybody was feeding off of.
Well, the problem is
But-
we didn't really have free market competition.
Well,
The government was so
It's heavily
heavily involved
regulated.
in healthcare that you can't really call it free market. I think maybe what they have in Mexico is closer to free market. So we want something different. And
We have to be.
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nate. I'm sorry.
So I think probably something like the Swiss system is where we'll finally end up. They say you have to have major medical, like maybe you have a deductible of $5,000 or whatever, and you have to have that. and the minor stuff you pay yourself mostly.
You're getting into the weeds there,
Oh, okay.
and that actually um, pretends to when you just made the statement. You guys just made the statement. We really don't have free markets. That is correct. That has been the encroachment of to getting rid of free markets, which
Really,
is what Trump is.
right?
Well,
But
the regulations is strangled free markets.
Yeah.
it's not just that. It was in World War II. We said that if you're a labor union and if you get health care packages from your employer, that won't be charged as income, for individuals. And so that meant that employers had a huge incentive to provide health care insurance as part of their package.
Well, there's another argument. There's another deep argument, Dean. Who the hell said the employer had to supply health care anyway?
Nobody.
Nobody has said that.
It just made it
They just
ridiculously.
made it the very
Right.
a very good motivation to do it.
Yeah.
Correct. And it ended up taking over, and that actually folded into all the corruption that we're talking about in the regulation. But who the hell said that healthcare had to be folded into the employer?
Nobody.
No, that
It was this incentive to do
Yeah.
it in World War II. It came about.
Right.
But listening to John Thune yesterday, John Thune is what party?
Well, he's the Republican, of
Yeah, I
course,
think he's
but yeah.
Republican.
Well,
And the Republican Party right now has a what in the Senate?
A
majority?
small, they have a majority,
two
about
seats, isn't it? Oh.
2 or 3.
He was talking about perfecting Obamacare, not getting rid of single care and going back to free markets. He was talking. They will never. In other words, getting back to what the conversation yesterday that was most of your show. We're never going back to free market.
We haven't been there since World War II. I would say I don't know where we go exactly from here, because if somebody says perfecting Obamacare, that could mean anything.
That means that
doesn't mean that we go back to what Obamacare was when it was first put in place.
We need people with balls to go in there and say, get rid of Obamacare and go back to free markets. There's the statement of the year. Get rid of Obamacare and go back to free market competition. Because what does competition do?
Well, it makes things more efficient.
Huh?
It makes the system more efficient.
It brings out quality. It champions quality with competition.
Yeah, both.
And gets rid of junk. And so you have to be careful when you're bandying these terms around. Capitalism and free markets, they go together, but it is free market. It is Adam Smith's free market that is the key to who we are as a country. And that guy, the majority leader of the Senate, they aren't talking about that, and that is dangerous.
Well, I haven't. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a Republican plan. I haven't seen it or know what it is.
Republicans have no plan, apparently.
Okay, apparently they have no plan, but I haven't seen it yet. so I can't really comment on it right now. Everyone's looking at patchwork. The Democrats want to continue on. Well, it's so expensive. We'll just let the government pay for it. It's subsidize it, and that's ridiculous.
So yesterday, Russ was about the danger of socialism.
Correct.
And you've changed your attitude talking about this one thing. That the whole idea that goes back to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton and her book that was dedicated to Satan. She was the one who was steering us into Obamacare, and she failed. And then Obama, that the first half-white homosexual president of the United States, took us into communism with single payer Obamacare.
Right. Right. And of course, it was all it passed because they just lied about what it
Oh,
was.
don't go there, Russ.
Yeah.
Don't go there, Wyatt Pat. Do not go there.
Oh, there's a lot of reasons.
I don't want to mention your hero.
No, John McCain?
He's the reason why we have.
No, I mean he's the one you say as my hero, but I'm glad you decide who they are. But I don't know that he was that instrumental in passing it. He definitely kept Trump from wiping it out a few years ago. That was unfortunate.
And then you had the compromised John Roberts.
Roberts changed the law. Roberts changed the law, which was ridiculous.
Decision.
Yeah. He said, well, no, I know everyone said it's not tax, but we're just going to call it tax so it makes it legal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Well, I just wanted to add on to yesterday's conversation about our sloping down to socialism, which will never happen because there's going to be a revolution that prevents that. If the second paragraph of the preamble will be in effect if our leadership does not do what we actually do.
Well, I hope we hold our feet to the fire and it didn't come to anything like that, but we'll see. We'll see.
And I also want to comment on something that one of your regular callers was talking about racism.
All right.
My God, I hate that word. You know what racism is?
Yeah, preferential treatment for races and separation of people based on skin color.
Is the foundation to Marxism.
I don't disagree with that either. I mean, it creates chaos.
The reason why that's the low-hanging fruit for division.
Yep.
Is race.
It is division. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's been promoted so much.
Color. What?
That's why it's being promoted so much, trying to make the system fail so we can come up with something.
In terms of Marxism and Saul Alinsky's book, it's always the go-to fruit. It's easy to do. Forget about color. Racism is a lipstick on a pig. Another word for division.
It is.
And this country is not racist. And people need to check their brains and readjust their noggins. Because that man yesterday was attacking America through the music system. And I got to say and remind that guy, those people who change their name on their own. And they made a lot of money in America.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't go to Mexico to make money.
But I think the thing he was stressing is that at the time, the climate within the United States was that we're not going to support Hispanics or something, so people changed their name to be more popular and sell more records. That's okay.
Scott did it whenever they were the underdog. They changed their names.
Yeah.
The Jews do it all the time. But the thing about it is, I'd like to have that man say one white person who went to Mexico and got a record label.
Well, I don't think that was his point at all.
His point was actually massaging the fact that one day he got a speeding ticket from a white cop, and he just can't get that out of his mind. He's so racism.
I don't know if that was
racism that gave him that speeding ticket, not his heavy foot.
No. Well, usually a speeding ticket comes because you speed. All right. All right. I appreciate the call, man.
All right.
Thanks. Bye-bye. I need to take a break. I haven't done that. We'll be right back.
Great day again today. We're looking at a high of 80 this afternoon, 53 tonight, 81 sunny tomorrow, 53 tomorrow night, and Friday, sunny and 80.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust, ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 50 years of service, keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. Hamburg refrigeration and electric hamburger. Count on us.
All right, Selfer, you got the idea, and you got your building supplies at Southwest Lumber. That's right. Now, all you need is a bunch of expensive tools to get the job done. Oh, that's right. And you know just the place to rent them. Southwest Lumber, your home for everything home improvement. Southwest Lumber has half-day to multiple-day rentals available on just about anything you need to finish the job. Rent equipment and tools on Saturday and Sunday. It's free. Stop in today at 1917 South Avenue B in Yuma. Southwest Lumber, ready for everything.
'Tis the season for cozy nights, holiday movies, and full houses. To make sure your internet can keep up, Allo Fiber brings you lightning fast 100% fiber optic internet that doesn't slow down when everyone's home for the holidays. Check them out at allofiber.com.
Sprague Sports is Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters, and Sprague has been serving Yuma hunters and shooters for over 66 years. Today, we're in need of used guns. 1 gun, 10 guns, 100-gun collection, all are welcome and needed. We buy, sell, trade, and consign used guns 6 days a week and offer free appraisal. So stop by or call Sprague Sports today and let the friendly staff surprise you with how much your extra guns may be worth. Sprague sells thousands of used guns yearly and offers an exclusive lifetime warranty on all guns, a $100 value. So pick up the phone, get in the car, whatever it takes. You got used firearms? Sprague's is your place. Who knows what you're sitting on and who knows what it's worth? Let the fine folks at Sprague Sports help you figure it out. Used firearms at Sprague's. Sprague's, Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Responsible gun ownership since 1956. Sprague's, 32nd Street, next to Lowe's.
Hey, Yuma, this Saturday and Sunday, don't miss the Murphy's Holiday Gun and Gift Show at the Yuma Civic Center. It's the perfect place to find great gift ideas for the outdoor enthusiast on your Christmas list. Or give yourself the gift you really want. You'll find firearms, holsters, antiques, scopes, knives, and more, all under one roof. It's happening this weekend at the Yuma Civic Center, 1440 West Desert Hills Drive. Doors open at 9 a.m. Admission is just $10. Get more information online at murphysgunshows.com.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind? Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to BYRNA.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner, compact, fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner, every person have one. Now, it fires potent kinetic and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the gift giver and the recipient peace of mind, not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit BYRNA.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's BYRNA.com.
There's a man in D.C. He's 6'3".
Damn, 560 KBL. You've Russ Clark with you. Dean's here.
Glad to be here.
Gilbert and says, listening. Because he was the one that called it some initial observations on how the country's actually changing.
Okay.
It wasn't negative. Anyways, he wants to know if he can call. Of course, Gilbert can.
Yeah.
I never care about that. He's always kids. Well, I think I beat up Texas enough. Them doing the change with DI. Let me take a phone call. You're on the air.
It's me.
Mr. Gilbert, how are you?
I was doing pretty good. I got up early this morning. I was supposed to have a big breakfast because I'm going to go donate some blood this morning at the Moose Lodge.
Wow.
So, you got to get a healthy, hearty meal before you give blood. That's my excuse to get it good.
Well, it doesn't say anything about a quantity, though, right? You got to.
Yeah, you're supposed to eat a good.
I really healthy, not greasy. Cardi saying healthy is not greasy.
Okay.
But that gentleman that called, you know what? I heard, what was his name? George McCarthy? Am I getting it right? McCarthy?
During the communist type,
Yeah.
that was a McCarthy era, I guess we call it.
Yeah, I think the late
Where everybody
50s.
was accused of being a communist. Yeah.
Well, a lot of them were.
Well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Oh, it was Harry Belafonte and all that.
Yeah.
'Cause he missed the whole message. He missed the whole message, what I was trying to say. And as far as artists go to Mexico and record, they do it all the time. Now they do.
Oh,
Back in the 50s, they didn't have that type of recording as we do now. It's cheaper. You know, there's no rules that white people can't go, or Americans, Canadians, not to say white people. I'm just
no,
saying.
but the point was, in the United States is where the market was. Why would you go to Mexico where there's not the bigger market? Go to the bigger market.
During that time, yes,
Yeah.
and they had better studios here,
Right.
much better studios. That's why they didn't go to Mexico back in those days. So that I'm laughing because he missed the whole point. And it was a time during that time. That's the way America was.
Yeah.
And it was like I said when I was a kid. I was always called a Mexican. Why was I called a Mexican when I was born in the U.S.? I'd be an American. I'd be American if I was born in the U.S.
Yeah. Oh, everybody born in Mexico is a Mexican. That doesn't matter if you're Chinese or
Exactly.
whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just a Mexican. But in the United States, we got all these hyphenations. You know,
Yeah, oh, I know.
we're
And
obsessed.
yeah, Black Americans, brown. How come I never hear white Americans? What I want to see how racist I am. Where is this white America?
Well, nobody wants to associate
you
with
know,
whites anymore. You know, you can't.
Yeah.
You don't want to brag
Yeah.
about it. You know, you got that toxicity
Yeah.
and the privilege. Goes.
It's like back in the day. Oh, some of my best friends are Mexicans. Some of my best friends are white.
Oh, don't no, you dare not.
Remember that? Remember
Yes.
that, bro?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was horrific. Well, I'm not
Yeah.
racist because I have a black friend or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. We heard those stories.
Racism is when you're against a certain race for whatever reason.
Well, yeah, yeah. You have to elevate yourself by putting someone else down.
Yeah.
Right.
And all I was trying to say yesterday was that too bad a lot of Latin groups from America, they had to do this in order to get recording labels.
Right. And that was just a smart marketing technique, because there was racism, there was that kind of imagery. Like, well, if the guy's name's Hernandez, it's probably, some music I don't like.
But isn't it common for people in the entertainment industry to take on stage names and get a name that they figure will be a better label for them?
Better popular, yeah. Everybody does.
But if you watch the documentary when Richie Valens, the manager, told him why he should change his name, you'll understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, because it would hurt his chances of selling records. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So that's all I was saying yesterday. And it's no big deal. We've overcome that.
Oh yes. Yeah.
We've overcome that. And because of history, because of learning history is why we overcome it. And if we don't listen and look at history, we'll never overcome stuff.
Yeah.
Never.
But I think the racism is fired back. I mean, many people want to promote it, and I think that is Marxism and trying to create chaos and all that stuff.
Well, like Nikita Khrushchev told us way back when, right? We'll destroy you without firing a shot through education. Didn't he say we're going to destroy you through education, through your schools, through your children?
They've been doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
We'll feed your children one teaspoon at a time, one teaspoon at a time till we destroy America. We'll destroy America from within.
Right.
And
he didn't say help America because we get Marxism. He said destroy America because we get Marxism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look what's going on right now in Minnesota. Well, we got people that are Muslims saying they're going to destroy America. They're in here saying that.
Well, they're taking all the money.
No, I'm talking about they're out there on the damn stands preaching, we will destroy America. You don't intimidate us. We'll take over.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? So anyway, I just thought, like I said, I was laughing because this guy had no idea what I was talking about.
Correct.
Yeah.
Appreciate the call, man.
Hey, all right, I got to go get some blood.
Thank you, sir. Better him than me.
Yeah.
Go give blood. It's a good thing, though.
It is. And I regularly gave for a long time. But when I came back from Panama, they said, well, if you've been in these areas where these diseases are, we don't want your blood for a while.
But now they'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's some age limits, maybe.
No, there's not an age limit, but I can't give anymore because of the AFib that I picked up. I'm taking blood thinners.
There you go.
And the only reason I take blood thinners, because AFib could potentially cause a stroke, and I kind of don't want that.
I think that'd be bad.
Yes. Yeah. That's potentially.
I don't want you to get a stroke either.
That's good. I appreciate you. Well, right now I have to take a break, though. We'll be right back. AM 560, KBLU. It's top of the hour.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
The Affordability Tour. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Lower prices, bigger paychecks. You're getting lower prices, bigger paychecks. President Trump holds a rally in Pennsylvania and mocking Democrats trying to talk about affordability in space. The president says the economy is starting to make a turnaround, and it's Democrats' fault for being like this in the first place. Trump telling the crowd it's his terror strategy that's bringing in so much money and helping boost the economy. He also highlighted his efforts to bring energy prices down by creating the, quote, greatest amount of drilling, the greatest amount of fuel being produced right now in our country, end quote. Trump says, when energy prices come down, other prices will follow. Fox's Jeff Paul. The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer tells Parliament he rejects President Trump's criticism of European leaders as weak and says Europe is strong and united behind Ukraine as tension rises between President Trump and Ukraine's President Zelensky for not accepting terms for peace with Russia. Trump now urging President Zelensky to move faster in making a deal. He also wants Zelensky to hold new presidential elections, something that has not happened since this war began because the country remains under martial law. Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's an important time to hold an election. They use a war not to hold an election. Ukraine's president says he'll take steps to schedule elections if and when Western countries, specifically the U.S., gets more serious about offering security guarantees for his country. Mark Meredith, you get an announcement on interest rates at 2 p.m. Eastern.
It's widely expected that the central bank will be cutting its benchmark funds rate by a quarter point to a range of 3.5% to 3.75%, marking the third consecutive rate reduction this year and the sixth since September of 2024, when the Fed cut rates with a jumbo half-a-point move.
Fox's Hillary Varsity there. Votes are planned tomorrow on a Senate Democrat plan to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies and a Republican plan to let them expire at the end of the month and give money directly to people for health savings accounts instead. America's listening to Fox News. This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of things every second and alerts you to threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it. Guaranteed for your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply. So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, stay micro, upper ends 1214. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
For the news and latest information to us, I'm Janine Aguilera. Yuma Police Department is warning Jeep owners after a recent fight death involving 2017 through 2024 Wranglers and Gladiator. Police say the theft seems to be happening with the help of unauthorized key fobs. Thieves are then able to get into the vehicles fast and without drawing attention. YPD says most of these thefts are happening late at night or early in the morning. Officers are urging the community to stay alert and report anything that looks suspicious. Plus, Joint AWC is celebrating graduates this season. Arizona Western College invites the community to their first AWC fall commencement this Friday at 2 p.m. The outdoor event will be held at the amphitheater of the Yuma campus. It will also be live streamed for those who would like to attend virtually. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 6 p.m. for your latest local news, weather, and sports.
Oh, it's all fun and games until you're stuck with bad internet. Not so much fun. Say goodbye to bad internet. Say hello to local support from a company that believes it's better. Say goodbye to the spinning wheel of doom and the regular equipment reporting. And say hello to a hassle-free experience. Say goodbye to the internet struggles of yesterday and say hello to a provider that fixes our community and provides a product and service that's locally rooted right here in our hometown. Find out more at allofiber.com. That's allofiber.com.
There's a man in D.C. AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. Dean's here.
And glad to be here.
You know, we were going to talk about Grok. But I'm going to put that off for a minute because Edward sent me another article that I want to throw a yellow flag on. I don't believe it. The article is from Axios. I couldn't read the whole article because I don't subscribe to Axios. Yeah. But it says Dems face a Tea Party style revolt in Texas and beyond. And the article starts off the hours after former NFL star Colin Allred quit the Texas Senate. Now, he quit Texas Senate, and we know that Jasmine Crockett jumped in.
Well, when you say he quit the race for the primary for the Texas
like an hour.
U.S. Texas Senate seat.
Right, which an hour later, Jocker. So there was probably some coordination there.
Probably.
I
mean, there often is a lot of horse trading goes on.
It could be. And it says the latest sign that Democrats are facing a Tea Party style revolt by progressives.
It seems to me they've already taken over.
I was going to say now, and what he's talking about is, and this article's talking about, is remember the Tea Party started up right when Obama was first elected, like tax enough already,
right?
And it swept through the country with huge power and promise, but it aligned itself with Republican values. It just was looking to get the Republicans off the dime and start promoting the values you.
Well, I'd say the Tea Party was Trumpism before Trump.
Correct. But what I see right now is what Crockett, I mean, and the Tea Party came with a whole bunch of ideas,
right,
about cutting budgets, getting back to founding fathers' principles, reducing some of the
reducing the size of
government, all that stuff. I mean, they knew. Now, Jasmine Crockett and her clan that is these activist progressives have only we hate Trump and we're thugs.
Well,
what do they really stand for?
I think they stand for large government and more spending.
Well, yeah, they don't verbalize it.
Well, somewhat. You know, we're going to give you all this free stuff.
Okay. Tea Party came out screaming, tax enough already, shrink government, screaming signs of it. I never see a sign that says we need larger government from them. They don't. I mean, we all know they sign off on it. They all sign off on it.
They do talk about
more government
free
giveaways.
Stuff.
Free. Give me more free stuff.
Yeah.
But they're not really policy driven.
I go to I don't see that.
I go to Tea Party rallies and I'd ask questions about policies, which one you support, and I got intelligence and answers, and people that were referencing constitutional matters or court or law or anything else. All we get is thugs from these progressives and just idiocy.
I agree, but they're operating on a set of what I would call false assumptions about the nature of reality. They believe that if you have more government will only do good and nothing bad ever comes from government when they're in charge, but that always fails.
Well, and eventually I think the Tea Party was Trump before Trump. I think you're right. I think the right, I think the Tea Party was Republican values and ideals and trying to get the Republicans back on track. when I see these new Jasmine style, it's something so. I mean, it's jumping all the way into Marxism.
Well, it is, and it's DEI too.
Yeah,
I think it's this
race centered and
right
chaos centered.
I would say that is they're trying to reinstitute DEI as
And
the
look at
direction the
Mandami
company
wants
should
to
go.
tax white people more than people of color.
Right.
You know, it's so much just garbage that's is
I
not going to
don't
be
think it'll be popular with the general population.
correct.
But I think it could be popular, and I think it is. And
But the Tea
particularly
Party,
urban centers.
the Tea Party was popular, and the Tea Party isn't powerful now because it was just absorbed by Trumpism and Republican Party, make it, make America great
Well,
again and all that,
of
which
course,
is
I think we could talk about the Obama IRS.
yeah,
Going after the Tea Party, and
oh yeah.
there was a very strong trend of the powers that be didn't want the Tea Party to succeed and tried to.
But I don't really see
dampen it out.
this thing Jasmine doing as any kind of organization. I mean, I don't know that she completely aligns herself with Waltz, or that Waltz aligns himself with AOC or Jabal Paul or any of the other squad. They're kind of just like.
I see it as the far left part of the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Trying to take over, and they've been pretty successful.
But without any contract for America.
No, I don't think
standard practices
policies are not clear.
No policies. The policies are hate Trump. They have that universally.
That's probably the biggest single unifier.
I don't think it's a winner long run. I don't think it's I don't think it's going to create this movement that the Tea Party created.
No, I think it's different. It's on exactly the opposite side of the political spectrum, and it's not as popular. But they do have a lot of people in the media that support them. The old media, I would say.
Oh my God, yes.
Whatever you'd call as the legacy media, or maybe the far left media. They have a lot of support there. And that's where the strength of progressives has
They
been.
support them more than they hated the Tea Party, and they hated the Tea Party.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's correct.
And the Tea Party flourished and still exists in some form. Say we have a very active Tea Party group here, but that active Tea Party group is really just pro-Trump group. They're not.
I think that's what it's become because I would say the Tea Party won when Trump got elected in 2016.
Right.
And I would say that, there's a lot of debate about whether Trump should have won the 2020 elections. I think there were enough shenanigans when you look at like the laptop from Hunter Biden that was suppressed when it was really true, and FBI knew it. If just that single thing
could have swung
it might have swung the election the other way. So I think there's pretty good belief that Trump should have won the election, but he did. And then we have Trump come back. I mean, after 4 years of intense understanding of what happened and what needed to be done differently, we now have a more vigorous Trump with a group of cabinet members and advisors that probably understand the system and how it operates better than any other president in history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that because none of them had that interregnum. I think maybe Grover Cleveland did once. There was one president that had an interregnum of 4 years before they came back to the presidency.
There's been one other.
I think it was Cleveland, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And so now you have Trump doing that. Not only did he do it, but he's a brilliant guy. I mean, Trump has an intellect that is just incredible. And I recall reading somewhere, somebody may correct me, that he has a near perfect memory. So he has this really talented group of people with him that are able to understand how the system works in reality and what they have to do. And they're doing a bang up job so far. In my opinion.
But the Crockett thing, that style of is far from it now. It works very well in her base and in her bubble and in a safe congressional district.
Exactly so.
And she would have been there forever. But they dissolved the congressional district.
They changed it. They redistricted just like California is looking to do. And so I just don't think it's very popular. What they need to do from a policy perspective, they need to convince a majority of the independents that Trump is bad and they offer better. And I think that's going to be hard to do.
Well, they would have a better chance of it if they showed what better was.
Well, yeah.
If better is giving more money away, they don't want to really brag about it. Now, they do that through the student loan program, giving money away. And that seems to be popular because there's so many people on the student loan program.
Right.
But short of that, giving money away to illegals, giving money away to Somalians, I don't think it's going to go real well.
I don't think that this idea of open border is going to be popular with a significant number of Americans.
No, the Democrats condemn Trump for doing a lot of the actions on the border, but none of them have said, we want to get back in power and open the border wide open again. None of them said that.
They don't say that, right?
No.
Although that's
probably
seems to be what they want to do.
Why don't they say it if it's popular? Well, it's not popular.
It's not popular, right?
Right. So the less you say it, the better.
I think their strategy is Trump is bad. We'll make things even better than they are.
Correct.
And that
leaves it up to your imagination.
Yeah, right.
And that's much more powerful than telling the truth.
Well, yes. I think in general, the leftist policies are based on false assumptions. They may believe them. I think a lot of them do.
Yeah. No, they think that Mondani is going to do great things, and it's going to be such a great success. It's going to embarrass the Republicans. Well, fine. Let's see that happen.
Yeah, I think they'll be waiting a long time.
Let's see that happen. I think the chances. Well, let me tell you something about Jasmine Crockett. Oh, she refers to herself as JC now. JC's going to do that. She has to have Jesus Christ in the initials, so she's using the JC thing.
That's interesting.
Oh, that's crazy. I have a caller on the show that they called and said the Republicans need to promote Jasmine Crockett to run for the Senate because she'll look ridiculous and stuff like that. We actually called a congressman in Texas and suggested it. Now, he called me the other day and said that the reason Jasmine Crockett jumped into the race is because there was a poll put out that showed she was leading in a poll.
Okay.
If she would run for Senate. And then he called me yesterday laughing. And he says, well, that poll came from that congressman he called that just put it out. It wasn't true.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if any of that, I can't.
You can
check any of that.
You can design polls to
come
get the result you want. And I think probably the majority of the polls we see are designed to get a result that are not actually looking to measure opinions out there.
Yeah.
And so to base your assumptions about reality and make decisions on a poll, you better understand that poll and figure out whether it's real or not.
But this is the girl that Googled Jeffrey Epstein contributions.
Got the wrong Epstein.
Got the wrong Jeffrey. And then said, well, at least I did my research.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I didn't say it was this Jeffrey Epstein.
That's pretty funny.
Oh my gosh, he's horrible.
Well, I don't think she's stupid. I mean, you don't, and I think a lot of this is just a way that she sees to get ahead.
But she does a great job acting stupid to impress her base.
Well, we can debate about that. Her base probably thinks she's very smart. But look at this. Suppose she's probably going to win the primary, I think, to run as a Democrat.
I wouldn't doubt that.
In Texas. And Texas is a big state.
Yes.
And there's a lot of leftists in Texas, particularly in the bigger cities.
Sure.
The fundraising she's going to be able to get, she will raise probably millions and millions of dollars.
Well, that's the brilliance of JC. She does act the fool and gets cash.
She gets so she ends up with a lot of money. And that money translates into political power brokering within the Democratic Party.
So give me a prediction on the
I don't think she won't win, but she'll end up with a lot of money from fundraising that she hasn't spent.
Right, and she'll have a lot of,
and she'll have become even more nationally prominent.
Yep, she'll be like Donna Brazile.
So, but she needs to find someplace in Texas. Probably maybe another congressional district she can run for and get a place at the table.
Yeah.
I would think, offering her advice as to how to advance her career. That's what I would suggest.
I'm not. Yeah. There was some commentator that wrote that she would probably end up on The View.
Maybe. Yeah, that's an idea.
She's outrageous enough to fit in.
Right. Or some network that's willing to pay her a huge amount of money for very little work.
Yeah, in that context, she's not stupid. I mean, this is a platform for promote her prominence.
I think so.
and her name recognition.
That's what I see, and I think there's a very low chance of her winning a Senate seat there in Texas. It's not impossible. You know,
No.
you can have really strange things happen. You know, whoever is in the opposite party, whoever gets that, wins the primary there in Texas. Just before the election, a couple of weeks, they could die or something. You know, things can happen.
Yeah.
So it's not an impossible chance for her to become a senator. It's a pretty low chance, I think.
I wouldn't put money on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd want really good odds.
But she's promoting that JC name right now.
Oh, that's I find it amusing.
Well, and it may work for her. She may get all kinds of, cash.
Well, I think she's going to get a lot of money. I think
Oh,
that,
gosh,
that will happen.
And she'll get job offers.
Yes.
Because even though, she's like a Howard Stern type in that, there's so many people that don't like Howard. They tuned in to see him.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hello, am I on the air?
Good morning, sir. Yes, you are.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you
We're
today?
doing well.
Doing well.
Great. It's a good day. Hey, I'm going to change your subject for just a minute.
We'll allow you to do that. Go ahead.
Great. It's positive too. You guys are doing a great job this morning. That's already a good positive right there.
All right.
This Saturday, Yuma Farmers Market is having their Christmas dinner and dance at the Elks. Tickets are $65. Yeah, the door opens at 5:30. You can call ahead of time and reserve your tickets, and come out and have a good time. And Yuma Farmers Market is a 501c3 nonprofit that gives 99.99% back to the community. We don't have any administration fees.
I guess I'm unsure. I'm unfamiliar with where it is and how you get tickets and stuff. I didn't see that one in the newspaper on the on the events schedule.
Yeah, actually, it was this last one that came out.
Okay, and
it's on there.
It's coming out. What's it called? Just
It's our Yuma Farmers Market presents our country Christmas dinner and dance.
Christmas.
And
okay.
where is it
Yeah, I
gonna
think
be?
I saw that.
At the Elks Lodge
Yes.
on 32nd Street. Tickets are $65. You one price entry. Gene Doughton, who's a photographer, will be there taking really nice portraits, and you take them home with you. Plus, that little funny photo booth will be available. The dinner is going to be a 3-course meal served to you at your table. What else? Oh, jewelry. We have about 30 pieces of jewelry that you can win on your door raffle, so you don't have to buy extra tickets for that. And it's not your $5, stuff that you buy at the $5 store. It's probably the cheapest piece is probably about $125, and it just goes up from there. If your number gets called, you walk up and you pick the piece that you want. It's still there.
Ah.
They're not going to say you got to take this one. The ladies love that.
Is there an internet presence that people can search for it and find all the details on?
Well,
probably not. I'll be honest. You can go on. KYMA had it under different, organizations in town.
There is a phone number for Mary Kay that you can call. And
That is right. And then Barbara Rochester's number is also, or should be on there, but I'll give it out.
The one in the newspaper just has Mary Kay. And the title of the reason I didn't catch it, the title of it's a homemade Christmas dinner and dance. Later on, it says it's the farmer's market, but it's Mary Kay 928-503-2852, and it is at the Elks Lodge. Starts doors open at 4:30. Dinner starts at 5:15.
So
well,
I'm going to show ignorance here. Where on 32nd Street is this about?
The Elks. You know where the YMCA used to be?
No.
Do you know where Super Kmart used to be?
It's east. It's west of the water tower. Just keep going down that at 32nd Street. It's gonna be on your left-hand side as you're going west.
And you go down the hill.
Yeah, on the hill a little bit. It's on the left-hand side.
Yeah, okay.
Right after
that
you pass the water tower.
Yeah. Okay. But they need to call up to get tickets first, right?
Paul, you know what? You can call us. We can reserve your ticket with your name, and we'll be happy to take your money at the door. That's good faith right there. If you say you're going to come, we'll show up.
And the date again?
Saturday.
This Saturday.
The 13th.
Yeah. couple days from
this
now.
Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, the 13th.
Yeah, and it's a sit down dinner. You'll be served.
It sounds like
our,
wonderful.
But would you take an exception? Like if I don't want to dance, could you say dancing's optional?
for you, Russ, well, dancing's optional.
Okay, we can do that.
Photographs optional.
All right.
Presents welcome.
All right.
Presents welcome. How's that? And not present, but your presence is welcome. Come out, have a good time. Yuma Farmers Market does a lot for our community.
Mm-hmm.
We're kind of like the people that help the smaller nonprofits in town that don't have the big volunteer base or the big deal. They're doing something, canine something. We're there. I shouldn't say we are. Well, Yuma Farmers Market is there for them. They just had that. What is it? Hams for Heroes or whatever. Down at Walmart on Monday, and they were trying to raise 100 hams, and they actually got 102 by the close of the deal. That was going out to all the different law enforcement agencies in town.
We're going to call that success.
For so many. Yeah, and there's Barbara Rochester sitting down, running it, on behalf of Yuma Farmers Market. So, people that are going through things in their life, throughout the year that need a hand or somebody to jump in and organize something for somebody, there we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, but most importantly, come out and have a great time for a great cause and enjoy yourself and hopefully walk away with a piece of jewelry.
Oh.
If anything, you'll have a belly full.
There you go. All right, buddy.
And I'll even let you know what dinner's going to be if you want to know. It's braised short ribs.
And what does a ticket cost? I don't remember that.
$65.
Okay. Yeah, you did say.
And it is tax deductible.
Oh, good.
Really? Okay.
501c3.
All right.
So you need a receipt. Your ticket will be your receipt when you get there. We'll give you that, but or if you purchase it ahead of time, you'll have it. But if you need a receipt or something for it, sure we can take care of that.
Appreciate the call, man.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, and you both have a great day.
All right. Bye. Yeah, I couldn't find it. I commented early on in the newspaper. What's going on? The list was so long.
Yes.
But I didn't see the farmer's market. It just says a homemade Christmas dinner and dance.
Yeah.
It does say later in there. Go ahead. Let's open up the subject of artificial intelligence.
Yes. This is something that it just happened a few days ago. And there is a competition that's been running for various artificial intelligence programs where the program is given a certain amount of money. I don't recall exactly. I think it's $10,000 around that. And they're allowed to play the stock market. And the idea is to figure out which artificial intelligence program does best. And there were like 5 or 6 of them involved. And Elon Musk submitted to have a variation of his program, Grok. It was an experimental version called Grok 420, 4.20, and involved in the competition. And it's hands off. There's nobody that controls those programs. They do everything themselves. And Grok 4.2 outperformed all, I think it was 5 others. They all lost money, and Grok 4.20 gained 12%.
Which I found fascinating. First off, that the AIs lost money. I thought they were smart, but it all comes down to programming. I mean, who's putting the...
Yeah, and it comes down to what assumptions the programmers put into the program.
Right.
And I think one of the things that Musk is attempting to do is he wants his program to be based on reality and facts and to search for truth rather than whatever is fed to it, to value truth. And he has said that he wants the program to start based on physical reality, physics, chemistry, math. And so, whereas many of these large language programs are just based on the agglomeration of what they're fed in from the language models, which can include all kinds of false things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found it interesting that this Grok program beat all the others in this initial competition.
Won a positive result, let alone beat them.
Yeah, right. And Musk said that there are already several financial institutions that are asking him, is this going to be available? Can we get in on this?
Oh, wow. Because that way we won't need analysts.
Well, if Grok outperforms people,
yeah,
we're in interesting times we're in. Now this may not work in a bigger context. We're only talking about $10,000 or so. So like that's not affecting the rest of the market much. But the fact that this program could beat the other programs and actually end up with a positive result is quite interesting.
I wonder if they could beat Edward.
Good question.
That's my fact checker, but he dabbles.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know, and that would be maybe you could arrange a match.
I'm sure we'll do that. Like that, you remember that famous match of the chess playing.
Let's let each one start off with say 100,000 and see what happens after
that'd be
a week or 2 weeks or a month or something.
Yeah, or I'd do it a whole year.
Well,
I mean, just drive him nuts for a year.
And Musk said that they expect to come out with a Grok 5.0 fairly soon,
which is going to be smarter,
faster, better, hopefully.
And something that's mind-boggling, and you talked off the air a little bit about it. The amount of power it takes AI, and we've been reading that. In fact, one company bought the old power generating plant, the nuclear power plant, 3 Mile Island.
3 Mile Island, right? So they have enough power.
Enough power, which is mind-boggling to me, because I don't have a nuclear power thing on me. I think okay.
Yeah, that's what we were saying is how do the humans do so much with so little power relatively?
Yeah,
and yet this AI systems they're talking about needing megawatts and megawatts of power.
Yeah, and a lot of it to cool even because
you have to cool when you're producing that much power. You have to wait.
My brain gets warm. I don't think it gets that hot.
Yeah, so I who knows why the human brain does so well?
I don't know,
but I found it positive that it took so much power because if it took so much power, they're not going to replace us.
Right, and you can't put a nuclear power plant on top of a robot.
Right. Well, at least not yet. But what I found interesting is Musk is saying the place to put these AI systems is out in space because they don't have all the constraints here on Earth. They can get sunlight, solar power continuously and much more efficiently in space
at a higher rate,
and
24/7.
You don't need heavy frames and glass to protect the solar panels.
But you need to get. I mean, what good is it? I can't get to space to work on it, and I don't have a cable long enough.
Well, the thing is that if you use this for AI system, the computing is done there in space. You put the computers with the power arrays.
Just send me the
and then
answer.
You just have a laser that connects up with Starlink and gives the answers back.
Yeah.
I find it a fascinating idea, and supposedly people in other AI said, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You can get power in space cheaper and better. And
so they have to go on to who has a rocket, right?
Musk said something like, yeah, it's nice to have a rocket company. And his rockets are making it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to get into space.
Right. Cheaper per pound.
Per pound. And because they're putting so much up and they're reusable and they're just, it's an amazing technological revolution that's happening. We're in the middle of it right now. We live in a golden age and people don't generally recognize when they're living in a golden age.
You and I are old enough to remember the first trip to the moon. We had to come in and watch it. I had to, my family sit down and watch it and all that stuff. And the Saturn that lifted off, which was spectacular. And it had 3 people in cargo in it. Now his rockets will do 100 people.
That's what he's talking about, right? And be able to land them on the moon.
That doesn't even.
I mean, that hasn't quite happened yet, but he's very close, getting close to that.
Sounds surreal.
Well, yeah. It is impressive. I mean, the SpaceX Starship is capable of doing much more than the Atlas rocket did, and it's reusable. It's just amazing stuff.
Right. And it's not much bigger than the Saturn. It's a little taller.
A little bigger. And the plans to make it bigger, yeah.
I mean, it's got a lot more thrust, apparently.
Well, and it uses fuel that is much cheaper. It's using methane and
Sam Musk is a cheap guy.
Well, he's spending his own money. So he's doing it very efficiently. And a lot of the ideas that he is putting into fact were things that science fiction writers were writing about 20 years ago.
Correct.
I mean, I remember reading these things and thinking, why isn't anybody doing this?
But what's taking so long? I'm ready to see the moon shot.
Well, he has a contract with NASA to put people back on the moon, I think in 2 or 3 years from now. So he's working on it. They're working on it.
Yeah.
Things are happening rapidly. All this stuff works together. I mean, you have the robots that he's talking about. What's the name of those? Optimus robots that are humanoid, and he's making progress on that. And you have the transport into space. You have these AI centers. You have Tesla, which with its autonomous vehicles coming up is essentially AI as well. All of this is coming together, and supposedly he's also going to be making his own chips and competing with like
He's
NVIDIA.
been making his own chips.
Yes.
He designed it. He hired designers to design them. He doesn't really make them, but he designs them, and then the foundry will make them for him. But
eventually, my understanding is they'll be making their own.
Actually, make a foundry?
Yes.
Those things take a decade to put together.
So well, look at what Musk has done. It is amazing stuff. So we will see. Maybe the future. It really does look like we are moving into a golden age. We're already been in a golden age, but it's a golden age after golden age. We've had 250 years of incredible advancements of science and industry. You could almost say 500, I think.
Well, but we have a lot of humans screwing it up for us, so sidetrack it.
We get
trying
these,
to create
we
chaos.
get these nasty wars every now and then. That take up a lot of resources. But after the wars, look at World War I, look at World War II, and the technological advancements that followed were enormous, and a lot of it because of things that developed in the warfare.
It wasn't because of the Roswell crash and we gleaned all that information.
Yeah, I don't find that real credible. Some people find it credible.
Let's not throw that in.
Well, it's odd. The argument that's made that the government is covering us all up. Well, the government can't allow people to know there's aliens because we can't handle the truth. Well, I think we can handle the truth.
Maybe. But I have a friend that was a big business guy, a large company, rocket scientist, that swears Roswell was true. Now he worked for a space agency. I can't remember which one, but it's the one that did the Polaris missile.
Okay.
Off the submarines and all that kind of stuff. They were having an engineering problem with creating a missile that was heavy enough to withstand the pressures of launching underwater and light enough to fly.
Okay.
Because whatever they used for the nose cone would crush if it was too light, too much power, too much pressure. And they couldn't come up with it. And he said that they came to his MIT and was working with him. A lot of people were working with him, but some bureaucrat, he described him as a guy with a clip-on tie and pimples, came to him and threw some stuff on the desk of him and his partner. The two of them were like the engineers. And one was actually graphite, and it looked like it was broken up out of, and one was fiber optics. And they threw them on the desk, says, "Can you use these?" He said, "Well, where did he get them? Where are you from? I just want to know if you can use them." And they looked at it. It was light, hard, strong. It was fiber optics. And so they reverse engineered. They found it's graphite. It can't be. It's brittle, and they figured it out. And they built the first graphite nose cone for the Polaris missile out of that scrap. And then the bureaucrat came, picked it back up, and took it away. He said they belong in a vault in Vegas, or outside Vegas. And of course, him and his partner argued it, and he said he thought it was from a wreck in Roswell, and his partner says, "Nah, it doesn't exist," and all that stuff. But the fiber optics, he said, was fun to play with. They could get light to bend and all that, but they didn't know what practical application, so they gave it back to him.
Well, I have a genius friend, or had, in Australia, who believed in the hollow earth theory too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So very smart people can believe in things that aren't true.
Oh, correct. I mean, but I'd listen, and of course, he did help develop the first.
Sure, I don't dispute that.
And he had some bureaucrat that never told him where it was from or anything. And
I think that part of this is some people just don't believe we're smart enough to actually do things. I looked at, there's an interesting study that was done recently about Easter Island and about the big statues.
Right.
They put up huge stone statues, and they figured that it needed this enormous workforce and everything. But they went there and they started talking to people and looking at how it was actually done with the archaeological evidence. And they said, no, doesn't require a huge workforce. Just, 20 or 30 people can do it with ropes and figuring out how to move things around by tilting them.
Really?
Yeah. And I've seen this a number of different times. People saying this is impossible. But then when you try to figure out ways to do it with the technology they had, people are very inventive and capable and figure out how to do it.
Can be, but he was a smart guy, and he believed
Sure,
that
I know lots of smart people who believe
got it from that.
in alien technology.
Yeah. I guess I need to take a break. The dog said so. We'll be right back. AM 560.
The Christmas Carol, a simple story that captures our images of Christmas. More in a moment.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pro has been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
The Christmas Carol is an enduring classic, but for Charles Dickens, it was a story written out of necessity. Dickens had written the first part of a serial story that was poorly received by the critics. Frustrated and broke, Dickens walked the streets of London composing A Christmas Carol, the story of Scrooge and Tiny Tim that has become a holiday tradition.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
Today, we're talking with aphids and whiteflies about Safina insecticide from BASF. We just got nailed with it. So tell us, how you feeling?
Really, really weird.
And you still want to devour this field?
No way,
bro. There you have it, folks. Safina insecticide is specifically engineered to disorient aphids and whiteflies, so they can't eat. And when they can't eat, they can't destroy.
Help protect your alfalfa from aphids with Safina insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
Great day again today. We're looking at a high of 80 this afternoon, 53 tonight, 81 and sunny tomorrow, 53 tomorrow night, and Friday, sunny and 80.
As the nights get colder, some Yuma families are simply hoping for something warm to sleep in. This holiday season, El Dorado Broadcasters and Avenir Financial invite you to join DJs for PJs, a pajama drive, bringing comfort to those who need it most. Please donate new, unused warm pajamas, any size, from baby to adult, now through December 14th. Drop them off at our station, Avenir Financial, or any local Little Caesars Pizza. Your gift will help local families through Amberley's Place and Arizona's Children Association, because sometimes a little warmth can mean the world.
Yuma, the Great American RV Roadshow Super Sale was set to end, but holiday shoppers packed the Yuma Fairgrounds, so we're sticking around one more week.
Festive end-of-season clearance prices are still rolling on new and used RVs, including our very best deals on repos and trades.
This is one of the world's largest traveling RV sales, but when it's gone, it's gone.
RVs cost less at the Great American RV Roadshow.
Extended through Sunday at the Yuma Fairgrounds. Parking and admission are free. Presented by RV Country.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
All right, do-it-yourselfer, you've got the idea, and you got your building supplies at Southwest Lumber.
That's right.
Now, all you need is a bunch of expensive tools to get the job done.
Oh, that's right.
And you know just the place to rent them. Southwest Lumber, your home for everything home improvement. Southwest Lumber has half-day to multiple-day rentals available on just about anything you need to finish the job. Rent equipment and tools on Saturday and Sunday. It's free. Stop in today at 1917 South Avenue B in Yuma. Southwest Lumber, ready for everything.
Hey, you want to give the gift they'll actually use this holiday? Peace of mind? Give the people in your life something that will protect them. Go to byrna.com today. They are the world leader in less lethal personal defense. It's compact, it's concealable, it's powerful. The newest burner compact fits in a pocket, a purse, while delivering real stopping power for up to 60 feet away. I carry one every day. I recommend every family have a burner, every person have one. Now, it fires potent, kinetic, and aerosol rounds that can stop any attacker in their tracks for up to 40 minutes. It's legal in all 50 states. You don't need a background check. It ships right to your door. Burner gives both the gift giver and the recipient peace of mind, not just for the holidays, but all year round and for many years to come. Protect your loved ones. Safety is priceless. Visit byrna.com today and find the right launcher for you and your family. That's byrna.com.
There's a man in D.C. Hey, I'm TKBLU. Mark with you. Dean's back.
Glad to be here too.
You know, with that Burner commercial that just came on, you said you had some news that
yes,
Burner's
it's
doing well.
fascinating because in California and I think New York, they ban the burner non-lethal protection
explain
system.
what it is. It's like a paintball
It's like a paintball type little pistol that uses CO2 in this case, and it shoots out a pellet. I think it's about 0.68 inches in diameter, and that has like pepper spray inside of it. And when it hits, supposedly it
sticks to your clothes.
Well, and it's supposed to, if it's done right, it's supposed to disable the opponent for a while and in a non-lethal manner.
Or make them really mad.
Well, it's possible too, but they claim it works.
Yeah,
and I saw some of them up at the SHOT Show. They were touting their wares. They're relatively high quality. They cost like $300.
I would suspect they work. One thing, it's CO2, which instantly turned me off because I've had CO2 guns, and once you puncture the CO2, it's not going to last a few days. It tends to leak a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to leak a little.
This one, you keep the CO2 in it without puncturing it.
Yeah.
And when you pull the trigger, it punctures it for the first time.
And I
So
thought
you don't
that's
have
a
to-
brilliant way to make sure you have pressure.
Otherwise, you have to pick it up, puncture the CO2, because you want to keep one already punctured in it.
Exactly. So
So
I thought it was
a pretty good design.
And there are a couple
That's
other
why it's $300.
manufacturers out there, but Byrna has filed this lawsuit in federal court saying that you can't ban this item in California. It's against the Second Amendment. And I've studied this part of the law extensively, and I think they're right. I think they're going to win. And it's because the Supreme Court says you just can't ban a whole class of weapons. And they had a particular case that went up to the Supreme Court, I think about, it must be almost 10 years ago now, called Caetano, in which a woman defended herself with a stun gun in Massachusetts. And they prosecuted her. They're going to put her in jail because she possessed the stun gun, and it wasn't legal to possess the stun gun in Massachusetts. And the case went all the way up through the Massachusetts system, and the Massachusetts Supreme Court said, well, you can ban it because there weren't any stun guns back when the Second Amendment was written.
That's ridiculous.
Well, that's what they said. It was one of their arguments. I mean, I read the argument. There was more than that. And so they appealed. The case was appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court unanimously held, no, that's a stupid argument. Stun guns, you cannot ban them. And the Second Amendment doesn't just apply to things that existed in 1791. It applies to all modern instruments as well, and arms or anything you can carry and use for defense or offense.
Right.
And so I don't think they're going to the government of California is going to win this one.
Yeah, with that already out there,
and there have been
opinion already out there.
I wrote several articles about this because there were several states that banned stun guns, and basically activists went to those states and filed lawsuits saying you can't ban stun guns because of the Caetano decision. And every one that I know of, they just folded. They said, okay, we're changing our law.
But not California.
But not California, or apparently New York.
Do you own a stun gun?
I've had pepper spray.
Okay, no stun gun.
I'm trying to think I might have had one for a while. I just think that they were all that useful because you had to make contact,
Well, you can't buy the ones that actually shoot a projectile.
You can.
With
Yes,
leads.
tasers you can buy. They're a version of this kind of thing. They're a non-lethal projectile system. The Byrna uses a completely different principle. It's not using electricity. It's firing a projectile that then bursts on contact and spreads pepper spray. They have impact kinetic versions too, that the projectile just hits you, and it hits you with enough force to hurt pretty bad, I would think.
Yeah.
I mean, so you certainly wouldn't want to get one of those projectiles in your eye, for example. So this is a case that looks very promising, and Berna has. They said they've sold about 700,000 of these projectile weapons throughout the United States, and other manufacturers have brought the total up over 1 million. So it's hard to claim that they're not common, and it's also hard to say that they are dangerous when they're less dangerous than handguns, which are protected.
Yeah, handguns tend to be very lethal.
Yeah, and so this is a non-lethal handgun essentially because they're small enough that you can conceal them and carry them around. So this is an interesting case. I have not read the arguments on the other side. I haven't seen what California has put forward. They may not have done it yet because first the complaint is filed, and the plaintiffs in this case are Berna and citizens of California that say, "I want to buy one, but the state won't let me."
A listener puts in there that they think Cali still allows the kinetic pellet, but not the pepper ball. But if you ban the gun altogether, does that have both? Does Berna have both the pepper ball and the
Yes,
kinetic?
they have both. But
Okay.
as my understanding, they banned the pepper ball. I don't know if they allow the kinetic. I from what I read, it didn't appear that, but I'd have to look back at it. But the state of California has not yet replied. That should happen any time, but they have to they're given some time, to do the research, make their reply. Probably 30 days, I would think, likely. So maybe it won't be until next year that we get their reply.
I think, is it possible California does all this stuff knowing they're going to lose, but at least we'll have a couple years in our
Oh,
way?
absolutely. I think that's one of the tactics that California is, and
Make
some of the other scofflaw states, I would call them, that refuse to follow the Supreme Court direction under the Second Amendment. They just want to delay. If we delay long enough, something might happen. A Supreme Court justice could die. The Republicans the Democrats could take over the House and the Senate and stack the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff is possible if we just delay long enough.
Right. I caught a little blurb with Trump and Pam Bondi last night that the Supreme Court made a decision that's going to stop these activist judges from stopping presidential orders.
Well, they already had put out, I think, an opinion that these activists, the judges could only rule on
their jurisdiction.
People who were actually involved in the lawsuit. So, that limited it quite a bit. And then there was some question about limiting it to their district as well, or at least the circuit they were in. So this is evolving. We will see what happens on it, because I think there are at least a couple of people on the Supreme Court that said, we just can't have every district judge in the United States believing they're president.
Bondi was talking about apparently the Supreme Court made a wonderful decision in that out of the 94 U.S. federal district courts, there was only 5 of them that represented like 90-some% of all those decisions to block Trump's executive orders.
Interesting.
It came from a very small group, and she says it's a great day that this is going to stop. And I don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah,
I didn't see
I'll
this
have to
morning.
read that decision.
Let me know next week.
But one of the reasons there's so few is because of judge shopping.
Right.
The people who want to stop Trump actively research and find the judges they believe will agree with them.
Well, there's 5 favorites to go to.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
To do that. Also, I saw that Supreme Court wise, you hear Democrats talk all the time about lawsuits, and Trump has lost most of them or something. The
No,
lawsuits.
it's not true. Yeah.
Well, it could be true at the lower courts that they go to with the
Yeah,
activist
at the
judges.
lower courts.
But at the Supreme Court, there's out of 27 Supreme Court, which is ridiculous. Why would a president have to take 27 things to the Supreme Court? Is just mind-boggling.
It is.
He's won 25 of them.
Yes, it's amazing So let's see, that's 25 out of 27. So that's about a 96%
Well, and
success rate.
the two that they lost were kind of trial things. They weren't integral to it, but they
Yeah.
could throw them out there.
Maybe
So they
maybe
try
a
to claim it's even
94%.
better than that. You know,
Yeah,
that's
I
amazing.
think this is he's doing extremely well, and it's because the judges, we have a 6 member majority on the Supreme Court, 6 out of 9 that claim to be, and they seem to be following it. They're originalists. That is, they believe in
Yeah.
interpreting the Constitution as it was understood to mean at the time it was written.
Versus,
Well, that kind of makes sense to me.
yeah, versus going through some kind of gymnastics to modify it to mean today's language.
I
or something.
recall, and I forget which judge was saying this, but somebody asked him about being an original. Why would you be an original? And he says, well, do you think, say, a mortgage company should be able to change the terms of your mortgage? You know, like decide they want to have a different rate or a different day it has to be paid off or whatever. And the person he was talking to said, no, that's not right. Once it's set up, the terms are fixed. He said, well, that's why I'm an originalist.
Yeah.
Because we have a contract. That contract has a way, there's clauses in it to allow it to be changed. That's what you have to do to change it.
But the Supreme Court justices that are not originalists honestly believe there's a rational reason.
Well, of course, there's plenty of rational reasons. It just requires that you violate your oath of office and don't believe in the
Is that all
Constitution.
it requires?
I mean, progressives have always held that. This is a core part of progressive belief. The Constitution is an impediment that we have to figure out ways to work around.
Yeah.
That's why we have the administrative state. That was one of Woodrow Wilson's ways to get around the limitations of the Constitution. We'll create administrators that actually govern, and they don't have all the impediments that the legislature or the executive branch or the judicial branch has.
Apparently, this federal court jumping in, district federal courts jumping in to stop the president's authority is relatively new within the last few decades. It kind of started, but it's on steroids now under Trump.
Right. It is fairly new,
In fact,
and it really took off during this second term of
in fact,
Trump.
Trump represents the majority of all those, even though he's only been in office for 6 years total or 5 years total.
Yeah.
He's a majority of all those actions.
Oh, yeah.
In the history of the country.
Right. Correct. Because it wasn't
Because they hate him.
expected to be a thing. And also we've had the judicial system since, I would say, Franklin Delano Roosevelt has been, many of the judges who have been appointed are ideological progressives that don't believe that the Constitution has fixed meaning. It means what we want it to mean when we want it to mean it. And so when you have progressive judges, they are more willing to bend their decisions to get an outcome they want.
I've been reading a lot on this birthright citizenship, and I know we're going to get through this.
Supreme Court just agreed to hear that case.
I know. But I don't know it's done yet.
Well, no, it's not. I mean, there were a couple of Supreme Court decisions about a century ago, a little more, 130, 40 years ago. And they basically involved people who were born here, who were legally here.
Yeah.
And they came up with a couple of things. Well, if you were born here and you were legally here, then you were a citizen. And you couldn't be denied re-entry in the case of somebody who was of Chinese.
There's only been one case that went to Supreme Court on like that. And that was a Chinese.
Yes, correct.
And that was in the 1800s.
Yes. And then I think there was some case where I think they said that if you were born to foreign diplomats, you did not have citizenship.
And that's been recognized
for quite a while, right?
But the fact that I thought the Supreme Court would take it up.
They're taking it up.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said they turned it away.
No, they granted cert, which means writ of certiorari, and they're going to hear the case. And that just happened, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Okay.
That they agreed to take the case.
Well, the president applauded that.
Yeah.
I think it's premature. That's not a decision.
Well, the Supreme Court doesn't take cases. They seldom take cases where they agree with the lower court decision.
Right.
So there are at least 4 justices on the Supreme Court, which is what it takes to agree to take a case, who think that the law needs to be looked at and clarified.
Well, this one's only been looked at once by the
Right.
Supreme Court.
Yeah, I think you're correct on that.
And
I thought there were maybe another case, but
Well-
maybe that probably was in a lower court.
I've only got the one.
Yeah, for the Supreme Court. That's that case with the
But I've got
Chinese.
an interesting article here that's in favor of birthright citizenship, is like we've always used it, and then there's nothing to discuss. You know,
Well,
and he gives some rational reasons. I can't get to it in this hour. We'll go on to the next hour with that. But I always find that interesting. I want to know, and I'll bounce it off you next hour because you have a legal mind. You study the law a lot. But,
Sure.
And I think he's got some points, but I think he left some stuff out.
Yeah, I think so. Probably.
And that's usually the case, isn't it?
It is. When you're trying to
make
make a
great
point,
you just leave stuff out.
well, if you are trying to convince people, it's better to try to consider your opponent's arguments and counter them than to just ignore them. But I think ignoring your opponent's arguments has been going on for quite a while.
Yeah, unfortunately. Or pretending they don't exist. I'll be back. It's the top of the hour. It's 8 o'clock, AM 560, KBOU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me. He'll bring that swamp, just like he said. This is News 560 KBOU.
I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Those prices down rapidly. President Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania says he has a higher priority than his chief of staff. He had to get out there and campaign about it. The Democrats trying to use high prices against him. We're also working to bring down the cost of health care. Obamacare is a scam. Under Obamacare, trillions of dollars are given directly to health insurance companies. Senate Republicans claim an end of Obamacare Act subsidies expiring at the end of the month and transfer the spending to health savings accounts. The Democrats also scheduled for a vote tomorrow, extends the subsidies for 3 years. Articles of impeachment are filed against Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. and Michigan House Democrat Amy Stevens. It accuses Kennedy of turning his back on science and the safety of the American people. Another Michigan Democrat, Sri Tanadoc, introduced articles of impeachment yesterday against War Secretary Hexit. More than 1 million Australian children have less scrolling to do today and let's find a way around the ban now in effect.
Australia's Prime Minister says families are taking back power from the giants of technology. Australians must now be 16 or over to have accounts on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Some younger teenagers have posted messages of farewell. Parents report cases of distraught kids finding themselves locked out of accounts. If social media companies don't take steps to keep youngsters away, they face fines of up to $33 million. Meta, which owns Instagram and Facebook, says the law is poorly developed. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Ukraine's President Zelensky says there are talks happening today with U.S. negotiators about a Ukrainian proposal for peace with Russia. President Trump's plan is to surrender territory that Zelensky does not accept. He says, though, he is open to holding elections in Ukraine in the next 2 to 3 months if there are guarantees of security against Russian attack. Americans listening to Fox News. This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make the season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply. So Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $29.95 a month for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This top-tier plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you'll save over 50% every month for the rest of your life. You might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say micro, offer ends 1213. Some restrictions apply. supply. Details with Pure Talk.
From the News 11 information desk, I'm Jamila Aguilera. The Yuma Police Department is warning Jeep owners after a recent spike in thefts involving 2017 through 2024 Wranglers and Gladiators. Police say the thefts seem to be happening with the help of unauthorized key fobs. Thieves are then able to get into the vehicles fast and without drawing attention. YPD says most of these thefts are happening late at night or early in the morning. Officers are urging the community to stay alert and report anything that looks suspicious. Plus, Joint PWC is celebrating graduates this season. Arizona Western College invites the community to their first PWC fall commencement this Friday at 2 p.m. The outdoor event will be held at the amphitheater of the Yuma campus. It will also be live streamed for those who would like to attend virtually. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 6 p.m. for your local news, weather, and sports.
Hey, Yuma, this Saturday and Sunday, don't miss the Murphy's Holiday Gun and Gift Show at the Yuma Civic Center. It's the perfect place to find great gift ideas for the outdoor enthusiast on your Christmas list. Or give yourself a gift you really want. You'll find firearms, holsters, antiques, scopes, knives, and more, all under one roof. It's happening this weekend at the Yuma Civic Center, 1440 West Desert Hills Drive. Doors open at 9 a.m. Admission is just $10. Get more information online at murphysgunshows.com.
There's a man. AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. Dean's here.
Glad to be here.
And we're going to talk about this birthright citizenship thing that, anybody born in America. And we have, and we live on the border, so we understand it, that there's pregnant girls that come from Mexico just to have babies here, to have a child here for a couple of reasons. One, it's they're not going to pay the bill.
Well, there's a whole tourist system.
Yeah,
People from China come, all over the world.
It's travel birthing, and I mean, they just travel agencies will set you up. Oh, you want to have your baby in America? Here's how we'll do it.
Right.
They set them up.
And right now, then the baby becomes an American citizen, and there's a lot of benefits that come with that.
Yeah, anchors you right in. So obviously, there's a fallacy in this whole thing because we're being taken advantage of.
Oh, no question.
So Trump has put out there that through presidential order, I guess, or executive order, that birthright citizenship only means if you're really a citizen or you're in legally and stuff.
Well, the argument, there's a clause there in the 14th Amendment.
Yeah.
It doesn't say everybody born in the United States is an American citizen.
Right.
It's everybody born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Well, and that's the part that's being interpreted now.
Exactly.
But everybody's subject to the jurisdiction of the United States that sets foot in the country,
No.
including diplomats.
No, that's not correct.
What do you mean?
Because, for example, before 1924, people who were in Indian tribes were not citizens of the United States.
That's
they didn't
correct.
pay taxes,
That's
and they were not subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Right.
And diplomats have diplomatic immunity, and they are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. It doesn't just mean you obey traffic signs and stop at a stoplight.
Mm-hmm.
It means that your allegiance is to the United States. And if you're born in another country and not a citizen and not here legally, you can make a pretty good case your allegiance is to somewhere else.
And all those arguments were put
those
up
are
in,
the arguments that are going to be discussed at the Supreme Court.
and all of those were put up in here. But this article says something that I didn't know, and that is that before even that amendment, that states granted citizenship as they all borrowed the British rule of jus soli. What's that? Citizens determined by place of birth, rather than the European rule, which says citizens determined by parental lineage. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Is there a British rule that if you're born in Britain, you're automatically a citizen? I thought we were the only country in the world that does it.
As I recall, it wasn't quite so simple.
Okay.
But
they make it sound simple here.
Yeah,
for
and
obvious reasons.
I would have to look at the actual law. But when I was an article I was reading, I don't recall which one, indicated that there was more to British citizen than just being born on British soil. And
Well,
this is article saying that's not correct. So obviously there is something there because there's a concept in the law that you don't allow a nullity. Words mean something. If the words didn't mean anything,
wouldn't be
there's
there.
no point to having them in the law. And since the 14th Amendment specifically says under the jurisdiction thereof, it must mean things. It must mean something.
But people
So
that come
who
into
is
the
it
country,
means there are classes of people who are not under the jurisdiction that could be born in the United States.
well, correct, like foreign dignitaries or something that have people on vacation or something. I don't know. But this says that children of aliens born in England are generally speaking natural born subjects. And that's according to an 18th century English jurist, William Blackstone. He says, generally speaking, what is generally speaking?
Well, it
Like you
means
said,
there are
words mean something.
exceptions.
All right. And entitled to all privileges as such. Upon independence, the American states incorporated the British rule into their own law, which I don't know anything about that.
But obviously, that wasn't exactly correct. Or there would be no need for the 14th Amendment.
Correct. So I think we're missing something here.
Well, the 14th Amendment was put in place primarily to ensure that black people who had been slaves were considered citizens of the United States with all the rights and privileges.
But here's the rationale of this author. He says Congress did not draft the 14th Amendment to change this practice, but to affirm it in the face of the most grievous travesty in American constitutional history, slavery, in Dred Scott versus Stanford, 1857. And of course, we know the Dred Scott ruling.
Well, that's right. I mean, there's a lot of truth in that because I've read some of the history of Dred Scott. There's a wonderful book about Dred Scott. Gosh, I wish I could remember the exact title, but it's by David Hardy. It's a small book, but beautifully done. And it explains the dynamics that were going on inside the Supreme Court that led to Dred Scott. And so the 14th Amendment was meant to overcome Dred Scott. And part of one of the things it was meant to overcome was that Dred Scott said that black people can't be citizens.
Right. And well, here's the ruling from Chief Justice Robert Taney at the time.
Taney. It took me a while to get that correct pronunciation.
Taney concluded that slaves, even those born in the United States, could never become American citizens. According to Taney, the founders believed that black Americans could never become equal, even though the Constitution did not exclude them from citizenship, nor prevent Congress or the states from protecting their rights.
Yes, I would say that's a big thing.
But he kind of took it on his own. Like you said, the Constitution didn't bar it. He just said they felt that way, so he made it a law.
Taney started out as being an abolitionist, and then later in life, he thought that was wrong and became a supporter of slavery. And he's a smart guy. He is the Chief Justice, and he listed a whole bunch of reasons why black people couldn't be allowed to become citizens. And one of the biggest reasons was because if they were citizens, they would have all these rights and privileges that citizens have. They could travel wherever they want. They could speak freely. They could keep and carry weapons with them wherever they went. And these were many of the Bill of Rights that he mentioned. And he said, we can't have that because if we had all these black people that are free coming down the South, they're going to give those slaves ideas. And we'll have all kinds of problems in the South if we have free black people running around able to say whatever they want. Censorship was a big thing in the South. There was no First Amendment in a lot of the South. If you wanted to put out an abolitionist pamphlet in the South, it wasn't allowed by law.
Well, less than 10 years later, the 14th Amendment. It's hard to get an amendment through. So to do it in less than 10 years is probably pretty good. Pretty fast.
It was done because the states that had seceded and then were brought back into the Union by force of arms were not allowed representation.
Oh, no.
Until they agreed to things like the 14th Amendment.
Well, the 14th Amendment was 10 years. I mean, 9 years after this.
Right.
Dred Scott
1876, 75? Was it that late? I thought it was earlier.
1868.
68. It's only 3 years after the Civil War.
Right. But it was 9 years after Dred Scott.
Right. Yeah, Dred Scott. Like I said, I really recommend David Hardy's book on Dred Scott. You can find it you know, if you look under David Hardy and Fred Scott, it pops up. A wonderful book to explain how it happened. But
Now,
the idea that all of the states incorporated this idea that everybody born was a citizen, I think is not correct, as shown by the need for the 14th Amendment.
well, this author disagrees, and of course,
Yeah,
this
sure.
author
He can
is pro.
disagree. It's fine for him to
He said
disagree.
the only way to avoid this clear reading of the Constitution, he says it's clear, is to misread the phrase "subject to the jurisdiction thereof," and I agree with that. That
So,
is
so
the,
and
that's
what
the
does
key.
he say that could mean?
Claremont Institute scholars, many of whom I count as friends, laid the intellectual foundation for the Trump executive order. They argue that this phrase created an exemption. Claremont scholars Edward Eller and John Eastman argue that subject to the jurisdiction thereof requires that a citizen not only be born on American territory, but that his parents also be legally present, because aliens owe allegiance to another
Right. That's the argument.
nation they maintain and are not subject to the jurisdiction. But he thinks that's misreading. He said the argument also misreads the text of subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Everyone in our territory, even aliens, falls under the jurisdiction of the United States. Imagine reading the rule differently. If aliens did not fall within our jurisdiction while on our territory, they could not violate the law.
See, that's not correct. I think that's a misreading that he's putting forward.
Well, they're
Well,
subject to
you
the
certainly
law.
can violate the law. That doesn't mean you're under the phrase as it is meant in the amendment. If it just meant that, it would not be necessary. There's no reason to have it in the 14th Amendment.
He claims the government had no if they weren't subject to jurisdiction, the government had no jurisdiction to arrest, try, and punish them. So responding that subject to the jurisdiction thereof must refer to citizens' parents of risk being redundant when born in the U.S. But at the time of the 14th Amendment ratification, domestic and international law recognized that narrow categories of people could be within American territory, but not under its laws. Foreign diplomats,
right,
enemy soldiers occupying U.S. territory are immune from our domestic laws, even when present on our soil. A third important category demonstrates that subject under the jurisdiction thereof has no mere surplus. At the time of the Reconstruction, American Indians, which we've talked about, residing on tribal lands were not considered U.S. jurisdiction. Once the government reduced tribal sovereignty in the late 19th and early 20th century, they extended birthright citizenship in 1924.
24, right.
Right. But, and again,
and what is the reason for that? The reason for that is because American Indians were members of a different polity. They were not U.S. citizens.
He claims that he said if amendments drafters had wanted jurisdiction to exclude children of aliens, they could have simply borrowed the exact language from the 1866 Act to extend citizenship only to those born to parents with no allegiance to foreign powers, which is not in there.
True, but they may well have believed that the phrase is subject to the jurisdiction thereof did the same thing.
I'm not saying his argument's that strong, but it's...
Well, he's got an argument.
He's got an argument.
And that's why it's going before the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Now, he does mention the one time in the United States where Won Kim Ark in 1898,
right,
Supreme Court upheld the citizenship of a child born in San Francisco. But I think he leaves out a lot of details.
Well, he does. The fact that he was here legally makes a big difference.
He was born here. His parents were here legally.
His parents were here legally.
The Chinese Exclusion Acts barred the parents from citizenship, which I didn't know at the time, but it would make sense at the time. But the government could not deny citizenship to the child. The court declared that the 14th Amendment affirms the ancient and fundamental rule of citizenship by birth within the territory and the allegiance with protection of the country, including all children born to resident age. And I think he missed the point. The point that I've read about that case was they said the parents had lived here the entire time. They'd made their home in San Francisco. They were there during the raising of that child for 20 years, and they were under the jurisdiction of the United States.
Yes, and they were here legally.
And they were here legally, correct. But he skips all that.
Yeah, right, because it's not real helpful to his argument.
Yeah, you're leaving stuff out. And that was, I think, was written in the case the decision.
Yeah.
On that was it. So it'll be interesting to see this go before the Supreme Court. It's going to be watched very close. There's a lot of emotion in this one.
Well, right. And I can say that you can very clearly make the case that when the 14th Amendment was drafted, the idea that people would come here to have babies to gain citizenship was not even considered a possibility. It took too long to get here at that time. Well, I don't know. I guess you could cross the Atlantic in a few weeks by 1860.
I got a listener that is wanting me to not play that song anymore.
Oh, interesting. I kind of like. Which one are you talking about?
The one, the man in D.C.
Oh, that's
Says
interesting.
nothing says we are a rube station better than repeatedly playing that poorly sung, badly produced song about a man in D.C. We Trump fans know it's well intentions, but as a novelty, one play is enough.
That's up to you.
Well, no, the reason I play it is it's not copyrighted because it's not copyrighted material.
Well, you might know the author and
I
have
do.
permission.
I do, but because I simulcast on Facebook and YouTube, I am not allowed to play popular music.
Oh,
that's copyrighted.
Okay.
Without jumping through hoops. Even though I'm a radio station, I'm allowed to, according to FCC, to play it on the radio station. I have to go through different paperwork.
Yeah.
To play it on YouTube. So just coming up with something, I just grabbed that because it's not copyrighted.
It's kind of catchy.
And Rusty doesn't mind. But most talk shows have a theme song they stick with and it just stays.
Right.
I don't know if that's the one I want to pick. It's just the one I had handy. It was there. It was available. So it probably will change at some point. Like I've changed it many times.
Well, I think that songs that were written more than 100 years ago are outside copyright now. So maybe listeners can give some possibilities.
I think Happy Birthday is still copyrighted somehow.
I don't know when that was written.
Nobody can play that. Happy Birthday.
Well,
Your traditional Happy Birthday.
You owe royalties if you play it.
Well, yeah, but in the meantime, I get kicked off.
Yeah, right. I understand.
I get kicked off, and I don't mind the royalty. The station pays royalties. We can play any music we want because we're authorized, and
It's
we
just
pay
that
that.
the station management doesn't authorize you to do so.
Oh no, station management will allow me to do anything I want.
Oh, you're saying it's all the other platforms you're on.
It's YouTube, it's Facebook,
Okay,
those
gotcha.
guys. It has nothing to do with the station. The station I can play anything I want.
Okay.
Because that's what we're two music stations as well as this.
Yeah.
So music is a normal thing for us. But I just thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, worth knowing.
Yeah, and somebody else put amen, like they agree that I've already played it. Stop it.
Well,
okay, I'll look. I'll find something. It's probably just gonna be some instrumental stuff and boring stuff. I really like playing old classics, clips of old classics.
I think there's a lot of stuff out there that's not copyrighted.
There is.
And our listeners probably have plenty of ideas, and maybe
Yeah.
they'll send them to you.
I could play nothing. The dog could be. I could do a barking. Okay.
Yeah, I find that more irritating.
You're not included, Lexi. Trump administration moves to remove millions of student loan borrowers from payment pause. Do you know there was a? You're not going anywhere. Do you know there was a payment pause?
Yes.
I mean, Biden played with that student loan thing forever, trying to give it away.
He did,
and
and
the Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court said no.
And then
And
he
he
just
says,
kept doing it.
I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to find a way to give the money away.
Right.
Well, he couldn't give it away, so he paused it. It's called the Student Loan Borrowers in the Biden era Save Plan, and it's a repayment plan that says you don't have to pay right now.
Did this pass Congress, or did you just an executive
No,
order?
none of it passed Congress.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
It was just executive order because he was a king.
Yeah, it's, the left doesn't want any kings unless they're from the left.
So, Trump administration announced a proposed joint settlement with Missouri, which I don't know how Missouri's in it. It's some lawsuit with Missouri that could force millions of borrowers into a Biden era payment pause back into repayment. So rather than pause Get the checkbook out. You borrowed the money. The whole student loan program has been a terrible program since Obama took it over.
Since it was federalized under Obama, right?
Yeah, before then, it was guaranteed by federal government. Like a savings account or anything, any banking transaction was a guarantee, but the banks did it.
Right.
Under the guarantee of repayment from the federal government made the rates cheap.
Now, do you recall at what point was the ability to declare bankruptcy on these loans taken out? Because I know that's part of the program now. You can't declare bankruptcy to get rid of a student loan.
I don't think you ever could.
I don't know. I thought it was a recent addition.
I took a student loan out
since
once.
Obama.
Before Obama, I took a student
Yeah, I
loan.
took some out in college. It took me a while to
I paid it off right away. I mean, I didn't need the money. It was just an experiment thing. But I went to a state school. I was working. I mean, my tuition and books were well within my budget. I think people can still go like that, go to school if they want to.
Well, there are some. I mean, if you go to state universities, they're usually a lot cheaper, less expensive. Maybe I should say.
He wants to change it, and Edward sent me this with a notice that it's going to kill the Republicans' midterms.
Don't know.
I don't know either, but it's going to affect 7.6 million, I think, if I read that. Yeah, 7.6 million borrowers are in the save forbearance. And Biden could never get his way and give it all away. He gave some away for some state agencies that he had direct control over.
Yeah, well, and this is a serious problem we're in.
I know
that people like free stuff, but if enough people get free stuff, the country goes bankrupt. We're getting close. We're very close.
When I did a student loan, it was very specific. I could borrow money for tuition and books. That's it, tuition and books. When Obama took it over, it was for anything goes, lifestyle, cars, room and board, parties, didn't matter. Just get the money. And college students are not the brightest in the world. Some of them spend it on kegers.
Sure.
And then dropped out.
Yeah.
And they owe money.
Yeah.
And Biden says, don't worry, kiddos, I'll give it to you.
And it's a lot of money in some cases.
Oh, hundreds of thousands for some people.
I knew a young woman who, young, impressionable. I said, borrow this money. And she was in Hawk for like $200,000 and she had a degree that she couldn't get a job with.
Oh, yeah. Pottery degree or something.
It's just sad. I think
it's terribly sad. We've done them a disservice. I think Tony Kirk did a great job of telling people that it's a scam.
Yeah, well,
college is a scam,
right.
And he didn't say for 100%, but probably 50.
Probably,
because you're not going to get what you think. And now the differences are like medical engineers.
There's no guarantee, and even today, software engineers have a higher unemployment rate than the general population. That's what I read.
Well, he's saying, look, we're going to do away with this thing, and he says this article says there's more than 42 Americans who still hold student loans, 42 million. It's $1.6 trillion. Now, before Obama started giving it away, we didn't have those kind of numbers. I mean, you couldn't get those kind of numbers. Now, because it's all inclusive, you can just live your life on credit for 4 years and then own for everything, for the car you bought, the food you ate, the room, the board, all of it. You borrowed all.
Unfortunately, it's
The
a serious financial trap.
Oh, it was. It is. Still is. And of course, the colleges around the country.
So what happened? All their prices went higher.
Way up. I mean, far outpaced inflation.
Yes.
Even though we were getting more technology that made teaching easier.
Correct.
The prices went up.
Yep. And this is when DEI became really prominent too.
Yeah. And they started making up stupid college degrees that could go nowhere.
Well, yes. Unfortunately, that's what we see, is that you can get degrees that nobody is interested in hiring you for.
Right. Yeah.
And that's not, well, I mean, there are degrees people want. I have a friend of mine who many years ago, like 40, 50, 60, 50 years ago, got a degree in anthropology. You know how many jobs there are available for degrees with anthropology?
Probably a couple.
Not
I mean, they're
very
usually
many.
students. Teachers that teach anthropology.
Right. That's about it. I mean, I don't think she ever used her degree. Very bright woman. She found jobs in other things that didn't require anthropology degrees, but she made herself useful.
I need to take a break. We'll be right back. AM 560.
Great day again today. We're looking at a high of 80 this afternoon, 53 tonight, 81 and sunny tomorrow, 53 tomorrow night, and Friday, sunny and 80.
The 8 Nights of Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday tradition. More in a moment.
Ed Whitehead's Tire Pro has been serving Arizona for over 20 years. Dune season is here, so ask about specialty tires for your toys. We also do alignments, brakes, oil changes, AC work, inspections, preventive maintenance, and more. Get your tires at any of our 4 Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros locations. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros wishes you all a happy holiday season. From our family to yours, and cheers to a safe and prosperous 2026. Ed Whitehead's Tire Pros. Yeah, we got tires for that.
For Jews throughout the world, Hanukkah, the Feast of Lights, is celebrated over 8 nights, usually in the month of December. Each night, a candle is lit on the menorah, which is accompanied by a prayer, after which a small gift is given to each of the children. During Hanukkah, gifts are exchanged and contributions are made to the poor. Hanukkah, a Jewish holiday tradition.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. This Christmas holiday, enjoy exclusive savings on our high-quality rechargeable hearing aids. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and shop Christmas holiday deals before they're gone at audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Garner and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan your estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
At Exceptional Community Hospital, we are redefining what emergency care should feel like: fast, personal, and compassionate. Our experienced ER physicians and staff are here 24/7 to care for your unexpected illness or injury. Don't wait for emergency care when you can be seen in minutes. With short wait times, you'll get the prompt attention you need because every minute matters. And if your recovery takes longer, we provide the inpatient care you deserve. Exceptional Community Hospital. Compassionate care. Exceptional service.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you. Dane's here.
Glad to be here.
Man, a lot of things going on. I'm going to go through some of these. Not all of it, because there's just too much going on. I mean, this is in the newspaper, but what's going on page.
Yeah, so this is local.
Yes. Winter Wonderland Open House at Vista High School from 4 to 6. Gingerbread houses at Somerton Library. That's good. I mean, it's good they list it all. Storybook Lane, 6th annual, was the night before Christmas. Well, that's not going to be till December. Well, today's December 10th, all the way to the 24th. That's 55th Street from Montana to El Camino Diablo and back up. It's in the foothills. I have no idea what that is. It's a neighborhood. They transform their.
I suspect there's a lot of lights there.
Yeah. Let me see. Yuma Farm Festival at the historic Yuma Theater. And that's a film festival. There is a film festival for farming every year, and I guess it's in D.C. And the Yuma entry into this film festival will be tonight shown here locally. So what we're going to be putting in that film festival, I guess.
So are these documentaries?
Well, it's an explanation to promote the past, present, and future of farming in Yuma. It's 6 to 9 at the Historic Theater. Tickets are free.
3 hours.
I guess yeah.
I mean, do they have multiple showings, or is it?
There's 4 films or something, but I don't think it's going to last that long. I don't know what else is going on. I thought it was 1 hour the first time I read it. Now I see it's 3 hours. But you can go on Everbright and get the tickets. They're free. They just want to have reservations.
Yeah.
But it's Everbright's free. Let me see. Freedom Library Takeover at Lutz Casino from 4 to 8. And that's on Thursday. And Yuma Farm was on Thursday also. My apologies. It's not tonight. It's Thursday. Thursday for Yuma Farm. Thursday for Freedom Library Takeover. And the city of San Luis has a holiday lights parade at 6:30 tonight down in San Luis.
Well, we're definitely getting closer to Christmas.
Oh, man, there's already been. They had a Christmas thing at the city of Yuma Main Street Saturday that was had thousands of people.
Wow.
Santa Claus was there. Believe it or
Cool.
not. Yeah, it was great. I made that trip. There was a tree lighting, live bands, lots of performing arts of dancing and stuff. It lasted all day. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon until 9.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
significant.
yeah, it was a wonderful deal. You couldn't get parking. I had to park at the courthouse
Okay.
and walk to Main Street. I got some exercise in.
Oh,
that's all good. So yeah, there's been a lot. Arizona Classical Ballet presents a Nutcracker. Of course, you have the Nutcracker every year, which is looked forward to by many that like seeing
one
a
of the
Nutcracker.
most famous, plays in the world, I think.
I was when my son got married in Kyiv, I was able to see the Nutcracker in Kyiv, produced by Russian troupe.
Yeah,
it was even better. These were like very professional.
Well, yes. I mean, Russia has this reputation for having fantastic ballet.
Yeah.
And, that's part of the Nutcracker.
Well, yeah, dance or not eat type programming,
Yeah.
Do it. But it's wonderful time to go to the ballet and stuff, the Nutcracker. And it's going to be playing again on Saturday. That's Ballet Yuma. Both of them Ballet Yuma. And at McBride Auditorium, Snyder Hall. Of course, that's Yuma High at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. So they do a morning show on Saturday. And on Friday, they're going to play at the same place at 7 p.m. on Friday. And they may play later on Saturday, but I got so much going on. The 45th annual Christmas Handbell Concert. My wife is in that.
Oh.
So go see Helen play the bells. 4 o'clock at the Trinity United Methodist Church.
Cool.
And they do that every year. And that price is free. I like that price. A homemade Christmas dinner dance, which Clyde called in early. It's going to be at the Yuma Elks Lodge. Doors open at 4:30. Dinner starts at 5:15. Music, dancing, dinner. Dancing's optional, I found out.
Yeah. And that's $65.
$65. And Saturday night is a Dorothy Young Memorial Electric Light Parade. Very popular at 6 p.m. And that's free. You just got to stand by the side of the road. But it's been very popular every year. I mean, lots of people attend, and a lot of people are in the parade. I mean, a lot of local businesses do that. That starts at 6 p.m. and just going to find out where the parade. It doesn't exactly say where the parade route is. Harvest Preparatory Academy has a World Tunnel of Light on 18th Street in Yuma, right near my shop. Tunnel lights at Yuma Harvest Preparatory. They decorate the school and make you.
Cool.
I think you drive through it. Photos with Santa. Santa gets around. Free hot chocolate. All supplies last. And that's going to be Saturday. Ballet Yuma. We'll play 7 o'clock at night that night too at the
Nutcracker.
Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Somerton Library has a winter program. It's at 10:30 a.m. There's some more smaller ones, but just you say there's nothing in Yuma going on.
Yeah, well, you've shown
you
quite
have
a bit.
you have to take a choice this season on what exactly you're going to do. 3 people arrested after 7 Providence, college students overdose at off-campus parties.
Is this in Rhode Island?
I think so.
I'm just going off the name Providence, but there's probably more than one town called Providence.
Probably. I don't say it specifically here, but that's what I'm going with. This was off campus, but a lot of campuses have off-campus dormitories, off-campus, that are private.
Well, sure, and then there's often private apartments that are available that you can rent that don't have the restrictions of college dorms.
It is Rhode Island, by the way. And the police were called because there was some problems. And when they arrived, there's 4 students passed out in the front yard. Now, that's always a bad sign.
Yeah, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
It's getting kind of cool up there.
Passed out in the front yard. Well, they found a total of 7 people that were not conscious, overdosed. And they gave them Narcan.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, transported to the hospital. And apparently, they're all conscious and alert right now. But well, they have to be conscious alert because they got some explaining to do.
Yeah.
How are you going to explain it if you're not conscious and alert, Dean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the Narcan comes in.
I guess there must be symptoms, I'm sure there are, that you look for, because you don't just give the drug to combat, narcotics to anybody.
This is illegal stuff. I guess one of the symptoms of passing out on the front lawn would mean they've had enough.
Yeah, people do that with alcohol.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
In Rhode Island, you can't arrest them to and from their legislative duties.
These were not legislators. You can't do that in Arizona either. We've got legislators that were speeding. You can't give them a speeding ticket.
Right, and that's part of the Constitution for people in Congress.
Of course, that doesn't mean you can't give it to them after legislation's over.
Well, they have to get back to their home district first.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Christmas to you.
Ted. How are you?
Finally, God, I thought I was living in Cuba.
Well, because my phone.
No, because you said Merry Christmas when I said it to you.
Oh.
I was calling federal agencies the other day, especially the switchboard at the Capitol.
Yeah.
They would not say Merry Christmas to me.
Have you made Trump aware of that yet?
Yeah. I called the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Every federal agency I call has been brainwashed into saying this. Happy holidays.
I suspect, and I'll tell Dean, I suspect that the White House is, oh no, it's Ted again.
I don't know. They might have said, oh, great, Ted, put him right through.
Yeah.
Donald, Ted's on the phone.
Yeah. So you weren't at the party in Providence at all?
No.
No.
I went through there on the way to Maine one time, and they wouldn't let you use the bathrooms unless you bought something to eat or drink. It might as well be still England.
Well, but that's going to be a private business. They can do whatever they want.
There are probably reasons.
No, this was the government agency.
The government agency.
Courthouse and all.
Oh, you went to the courthouse. They wouldn't
They were
let you use the
selling food
restroom.
and drink.
No,
Yeah.
that's
If
you're
I
telling me.
didn't- If I didn't go to a business and get something, they wouldn't let me in to use the bathroom.
Well,
I'm not kidding you, Russ. I'm not lying to you. I'll get my wife on here and she'll tell you.
yeah. Well, I don't know what you did to him, Ted, but okay.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay.
Yeah. This is
As I
sometimes
experienced in that wacko state.
You still excited about Crockett being on the Senate run?
Well, that's why I wanted to call you earlier, because I think this. She's supposed to be so well educated. She called and wanted to go to the Alamo. So they pull up and she goes, "Where's my keys and rental contract?"
Great. And you waited, and you had to call in for that, Joe. That's going to get you a hook on most stages.
Well, we're chuckling.
Yeah, just how
That's
bad
why I
it was.
called, 'cause I know it would make you laugh, Dean.
There you
Hey,
go.
Dean, I have a question. Is a miniature flamethrower against the law to have in the United States?
Not as far as I can tell. I mean, we've got them for backyard barbecues all the time.
I've got one.
Okay, I'm just curious. I mean, I didn't want to violate any state and federal laws.
Why did you get a
for having
miniature flamethrower.
They make them to burn weeds too. Use propane.
Yep.
It fries.
Yeah.
I
Fries.
had the nitro wire. I just didn't have the can.
No, I got a SpaceX rocket. You know, it was made by it's a miniature little thing, and it has a little flamethrower on it, which is kind of cool. It's made out of metal. I bought it from Elon Musk.
Cool.
Elon von Braun.
No, okay. I thought he was South African. Now he's German. Okay.
Yeah, well, the genius of our age, that's for sure.
For sure.
True. Yes, he is where I got my idea for my flamethrower. I just used the nitro wire, a battery, and a can of Lysol.
Yeah.
Or carburetor cleaner. That works good
I think
too.
that'd work.
You know, you're a scary guy.
It's sticky. No. She wanted to know where her keys and her rental contract was when they pulled up at the Alamo.
Enough, Ted. Enough.
No, I wanted you to see how you'd answer me when I said Merry Christmas, because our federal agencies have been brainwashed with that DEI that they will refuse. They refuse to say Merry Christmas.
I have a total different brainwashing, so I'm very fine with the
Yeah, we're not
Merry
a federal
Christmas.
agency. So.
Yeah, we're not at all.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I have some federal currency on me, but that's about it.
I have some Confederate currency.
Get out of here, Ted. All right, buddy. See you
Have a
later.
good day. Bye.
Bye-bye. Ted. I'm glad he got through. Getting back to these people that were arrested in Providence College. I didn't say they were arrested, but there were 3 people arrested.
Only 3 of the 7. Interesting.
Well, none of the 7 were arrested, to my knowledge, as of yet.
Oh, because they were the victims.
But they arrested Angel Williams, Patrick Peterson, and Kim Shree Simone or something. They said 33, 33, and 32. Not students.
No.
But of course, it wasn't on campus. It was off campus type deal. And they were arrested for 20 grams of fentanyl that they found. That's a lot.
That's a lot of
fentanyl. It's done in micrograms, so that's distribution there. 1,700 in cash, 2 rifles, 3 handguns. And for one thing that interests me, they were in possession of an illegal ghost gun. Now, why would you be charged with the possession of a ghost gun?
Well, there are a few states that have passed laws saying that if you make your own gun, you have to apply to the state for a serial number to put on it before you can make it. And maybe Rhode Island is one of those states. There are a few states that have.
Well, I
think it's probably unconstitutional.
But generally, a ghost gun's not illegal.
Right, generally.
Well, because what a ghost gun is a homemade
It's
gun.
just a homemade gun. And people have been making homemade guns since before the revolution.
And now most people would assume a ghost guns because of the new technology of the printers, that you could print them.
Well, it makes more complicated guns and parts a little easier to make, but we've been making guns for a long time. I just read, in fact, the article has not been published on AmmoLand yet. It's waiting in the queue there. It's about the ATF, Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, put together information on the tracing that had been done for, they don't call them ghost guns, they call them privately made firearms, PMF, but they're essentially what the press is calling ghost guns. And they found that they had traced since from 2017 to 2023, 92,702 traces of these privately made firearms. Now, the number of firearms that they traced otherwise ran, somewhere around, I think, 2,888,000 some. So it's quite a bit different. But it turned out that the privately made firearms were about 3.2%.
Wow.
Of the total that were traced. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at the manufactured guns and how many homicides were committed per trace, it was, I think, 0.031. But for the privately made firearms, the number of homicides that were associated with them per trace was 0.015, less than half. So the privately made firearms
are safer.
Appear to be less than half as commonly associated with homicide as the manufactured firearm.
Yeah. But I read the ghost guns, and it seems to be a big deal in political circles on the left.
Well, they're trying
Like
to
it
make
sounds
it.
mysterious, like
Yeah,
Casper fires it or something.
I think they're trying to make it into a cause celebrity. They're trying to do the same thing they did with switchblade knives back in the 50s.
Right.
It's just they don't control the media like they
Yeah,
did.
but they got them outlawed in the 50s. You couldn't have a switchblade.
Right, and they have federal legislation that was passed, and then we've reversed that in a lot of states, and we're trying to get the federal legislation reversed too, because it turns out it was all made up nonsense.
Yeah.
There was no science behind it. It was just that one, I think it was a state senator, might have been House of Representatives in New York, pushed it as an idea, and he put out all these outrageous articles, got them published in the press.
Because he saw West Side Story.
Maybe. I mean, West Side Story, I think, had a lot to do with it, the federal law being passed.
Right.
And but it just never made any real sense. It never was real. It was all a bunch of sort of a put up job. But I think that's where people got the idea that they could outlaw all these different firearms federally, because they were able to make that mythology about switchblades, and it worked. They got federal legislation passed saying you can't transfer them between states for interstate commerce. You can't import them into the United States. And it's all a bunch of nonsense.
And now you go to Sprague's and buy one.
That's right.
You know,
because
but now I don't want one because it's not.
because it's not a forbidden item anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of it. And so they're trying to do the same thing with this idea of personally made firearms, and it just doesn't make any sense. First off, you have these. They said they're not traceable, but so what? Most of the guns in the United States are not traceable. We have somewhere probably more than 500 million privately owned guns in the United States, firearms. Of those, roughly 300 million are more than 20 years old. Once a gun gets beyond 20 years, it's pretty much considered untraceable.
Changed hands.
Yeah. You get
changed
people
address.
die, they go to an estate, you sell them to somebody, it gets traded, and in most of the country, that's perfectly legal.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have gun registration in the United States. It's forbidden by federal law for the federal government, and there are even several states that forbid gun registration. Arizona is one of them. And so once the gun is purchased by somebody, what happens to it after that is not traced anywhere for the most part.
Right.
So older guns are just not traceable. So when you have hundreds of millions of untraceable guns, a few thousand more every year, it doesn't make any serious difference.
Doesn't matter. It gives them a talking point.
Yes, exactly right.
Guns are bad because we can't trace them.
There was in Canada, when they were debating gun registration for long guns up there, they asked I think it was Canadian Department of Justice, how many crimes have been solved because you had a registered handgun. Handguns had to be registered in Canada in the 1930s, and I think this question was asked in the 90s. So they had about 60 years of records where they had required handgun registration in Canada. And the Department of Justice, we haven't been unable to find a single case where registration was used to solve a crime.
Right.
You think about the dynamics. People don't take their registered gun, commit a crime, set down the gun, and walk away.
No.
It just doesn't happen.
Unless you took the gun from someone else trying to get blame away from you. Yeah.
Well, but then it doesn't solve the crime, does
it? Doesn't solve the crime. Exactly. No, it shouldn't.
And so, and Michigan has had registration of handguns since about 1927.
Still does?
Yes, but it probably is not very effective. And they claimed, so I forget what year it happened, but they finally solved a crime because they had a series of crimes that were committed with a very unusual gun. I mean, and they could tell because of the case that appeared at the scene, this was a particularly unusual gun. And they started looking for all their registration lists. They found a small number of people had that gun, and then they started investigating, and one of them turned out to be the person who had been committing the crimes.
Yeah.
Very unusual. The only one case in like 70 or 80 years. So it's not worth it. And consider, when you have these registration systems, they're not free. They cost time, effort, resources. And if you put that same time and effort into police resources investigating crimes and arresting people who do violent things, you would save a lot more people than solving one crime every several decades.
Well, they don't care how much money they spend on bureaucracy because the bigger the bureaucracy, the more important my job is if you're
Well,
a city manager.
certainly, I mean, if you're inside a bureaucracy, you're spending other people's money. So what's it matter?
Doesn't cost you anything.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Democrats end a 30-year losing streak in Miami. The Trump-backed candidate didn't make it. And it was for the mayor, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know what I read that the
It was a runoff election.
Democrat won.
Yeah.
But what the numbers were, I didn't pay attention.
There's a lot of people making predictions because of this. You know, this and Mandani and
Well,
the
there's
Tennessee one, even though the Republican one, you didn't win by as much as you should
Right.
have and stuff like that.
And people are trying to use it for political advantage. I don't think it matters too much right now, but the midterms will matter a great deal.
Well, Trump has a tremendous track record of his backed candidates winning.
Correct.
I don't know what the numbers are, but I've heard it before. It's very high, but he lost this one. A Democrat, Eileen Higgins. Now, this is for mayor of Miami, which is a nonpartisan race.
Oh, so people didn't know they were voting for a Democrat.
Well, it doesn't have DNR on the, just
Right.
like our
Yeah.
mayor and council
Sure.
doesn't have DNR, but we know them.
And the same thing in Nebraska. They're not allowed to put partisan labels, though everybody knows they are. On their legislature, they have a unicameral legislature.
Yeah, we all know, and we knew on this one. But Trump backed Emilio Gonzalez, former city manager, and didn't make it. And so now, they're looking at it. Ken Martin, the DNC chair. Of course, he's a historic performance in Tennessee last week. He's mentioning that. They lost by 10 points.
Right.
Okay. It was a historic because we got that close.
Yeah, it was 9 point something, I think.
And it shows the Democratic momentum across the country this year.
Oh, they're trying to build it.
And now the DNC is laser focused on Miami's mayoral race. But Miami is a Democrat town.
Correct.
But the county is more Republican. Now it's still thin, but it's more Republican. The county is
Right.
more Republican. And during the November 4th election, the winner, which is Eileen Higgins, a Democrat, she got 36% of the vote. Gonzalez came in second at 19. So there was a huge split at the initial.
So there's several candidates running.
Yeah, several. But the deal is there you have to get over 50%.
Oh, okay. So now there's going to be a runoff.
There was. That was the runoff that just happened.
Okay.
And the Democrat won.
Okay.
But she was already way ahead in the initial one.
Yeah. So she had.
Which doesn't mean that it's going to be that way. And nowhere in the article did I see the numbers, though. I wonder why they didn't put them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually you would see that. I could have looked it up in different ways, but I let it go. But
that could be why it didn't have numbers.
But maybe it was close. But the Democrats have been patting themselves on the back because they think we make great progress. We could look what we've done now with the mayor.
Yeah.
Of this, and we got the mayor of New York, and these are basically special elections or runoff.
They
elections.
They're
Stuff
off year election.
Yeah, and we lost Tennessee, but look how good we did.
Yeah. No,
We were a great loser.
It's understandable that they're trying to use this to build momentum. But
Right.
I don't think they have a very good message. The message is still hate Trump.
Yeah. Well, Mandani goes beyond that. I mean, he does have plans. Mandani,
He does.
he wants to give away free bus rides.
Yeah. And government grocery stores with lower
We're
prices,
going to buy
higher
all the
costs.
grocery stores and give it to you for a cost and stuff. The grocery stores may happen, but the transportation's got to go through the state, and Hochul's already said no. That's a big fund menu. I mean,
And they tried an experiment with this and it didn't work.
well, what with the grocery stores?
No, with the
haven't-
buses.
Oh, but they also have tried grocery stores for not New York, but other places.
Other places, and they don't.
They don't work.
Yeah.
Well, they work.
Well, as long as you're giving away money, people will come and take stuff.
but there's huge cost to the taxpayers to
Yeah,
keep those things
exactly.
open.
Exactly.
You know, if you're doing it for no profit, you're going to have losses because you got to pay
Well, and
personnel and light bills.
generally, if they're government employees, they get paid better than private sector.
That has been the trend. You know, I remember back when it was explained to me that, of course, government workers make less because they have so many benefits,
Right.
which they have more benefits than the average non-government employee.
I would say that's correct.
But then they started working on the payroll, and the payroll is actually above in most cases,
Well, what we've seen,
and they got the benefits.
and I think it's quite common, is that in bureaucracies you have what we call grade inflation, is that everybody wants to get promoted. And so the bureaucracy doesn't have much incentive not to promote people. So over time, everybody's pay grade goes up and up and up. I mean, it used to be, I have been told, that a GS5 was proper for a college graduate. Now you don't find many college graduates working under a GS11 or 13.
Oh, really? So that's how they get the more.
So what happens is the pay grades remain the same, but people's grades are inflated higher.
Okay. More promotion.
Right.
In grade.
Yes. That's what I've observed. Now, people may dispute it with better numbers, but that's what I thought I saw happening while I was in the bureaucracy.
Well, we're out of time. We're going to have to discuss the rest next week.
Very good.
I'll be back. AM 5 tomorrow. Dana will be back next week. AM 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".